that is the best recipe I found for them to be firm.
Okay.
Firm.
You want them firm, baby. Like a nice ass.
So follow this to a T and it should be perfect.
Right on.
Follow this to a T and it should be perfect.
What's that?
Follow this to a T and it should be perfect.
Go down.
I mean,
It's low and slow. Instead of boiling the water, you just heat it for like 15 minutes and stir it occasionally.
Okay.
Hope you guys are paying attention.
Method 1.
Yes, method 1. Use method 1.
We got this.
And you can double or whatever you got to do, but you follow those steps, you'll be good.
Everybody's trying to make Jello shots. Jello shots. What a white girl thing to make. I think they're very white girl.
I've never really been a huge fan of Jello shots themselves, but
They're
I do
okay.
like them.
I've never had Jello shots.
I don't know why anybody
so
makes the
it's
green
not
ones. Why do you make green Jello shots? Somebody's gonna eat that shit.
No, I agree. Like you stick with Old Faithful. You go, cherry, the blue, and like
strawberry,
sometimes
Starburst.
raspberry. Yeah.
You don't go like who intentionally goes out and buys green Jello to make green Jello shots. Like
I know.
Nobody's gonna eat that shit.
The aunt in Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
But she added Meow Mix to it.
Oh.
I don't know about the cat, but I sure am enjoying it.
Welcome back. We are the Bonsai Movie Crew. Don't forget.
Some of us brought our Christmas presents.
I love this. It is what my friend gave it to me. Or
It's really
got
cool.
it for me.
It's really cool.
I know. I was like, that's so perfect. Video called her last night for a minute.
Oh, last episode of the year. As you can see,
Happy 2024.
we're actually doing this on New Year's Eve.
Yes, we
It is
are.
New Year's Eve right now. We're actually recording like fucking 6 hours early.
If you could see the sun, you'd see it still up.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
this might be the earliest we've ever recorded. I think.
I don't
No, we did
done it like 9 in the morning one time.
Yeah, we did
at
Buffy.
9 in the morning.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
did. Remember, we did Buffy at like 9 in the morning. You and him were both drinking coffee.
Oh, that's right. I remember now.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah. Why were we do it? Why did we do it so early?
I don't
We had
remember.
stuff going on later on that day.
I think there was a barbecue or something.
something was going on that day early,
okay.
like afternoon.
All right. Well, there you have it. Sometimes
We don't just do a podcast. We hang out sometimes.
Yeah, we do hang out outside of this. Like
Hanging out later. Woo!
Woo!
we drink together, we play together, all that stuff. We're
true.
fun kids.
Fun kids.
Anyway, I don't have any internet stuff this
Karen,
week.
might I just add this? You look pretty grand in a tiara.
Why, thank you. So do you. Yeah, it's beautiful.
Tis is me that thinks thee.
What?
The fuck?
New year brings in new language. I don't know.
I get it. It's like old language.
I know.
Old bad
Old,
language.
yeah.
Old bad language. It works.
It's like whenever the pilgrims came, they were like, "We need to learn their language."
Speaking of
and they were
pilgrims-
like, "Tis of thee."
Yeah, these two
Who
look like
thinks
pilgrims
thee?
with those hats.
Yeah. Fucking pilgrim hats. Can you even see the lettering on my hat?
I don't think so.
It's like there's so much
You gotta
glare
lean
on it,
forward.
like-
I don't think
You
you, can see
definitely
mine
can't
either
see
because
mine.
like
There it is. You can see
that
that.
kind of the red kind
Yeah,
of
you
blends.
can't really see mine.
They all say Happy New Year.
They say Happy New
Or
Year
New Year.
2025.
Yep.
It'd be even funnier if they said 2024. It would be like,
It
what?
would be-
Somebody got fired.
That would be hilarious. Like, ooh.
Somebody definitely got fired.
Who's
for
gonna
that.
tell him?
Who's gonna tell them? I will not be reliving this year.
No.
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 Fuck. What was I gonna? I don't know. All right, you guys just want to move on into it?
Yeah, let's go.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go.
Whatever.
Elias Coaches.
Who?
Creator profile? Elias Coaches?
No.
Casey Jones? Damn.
No.
Casey Jones would have been a good one though.
I like him. Corey Feldman.
I thought about it, but I thought. Well, I'm gonna save him for the
Judith
third bit.
Hogue then?
Huh?
Judith Hogue? April?
No.
She would have been a good
It's a
one
deep
because
cut.
I
It
don't
is.
think
The only
she
thing I
really
ever-
is in anything else other than Ninja Turtles, is she?
She was in a few episodes of Carnival. She's been in a couple movies.
She's been in some stuff, just
she's
nothing.
not a huge
not very
actress,
many
though.
though. It's like
Justin
the Ninja
Tice?
Turtles was like her main thing.
It's a deep cut. Deep
that
cut.
that is a deep cut for me.
like if you probably don't even didn't even realize he was in the movie.
Was he in the one of the costumes?
No.
No. So I was thinking of the guy that played Surf Ninjas. What's his name?
Oh yeah, he was. Yeah,
He was.
that's right.
He was
in one of the costumes.
Yeah,
he's
he
in
was
all
one
of
of the
them.
Ninja Turtles.
He's like in all of the.
I don't know if he's in the third one. I know he's
No,
in
I'm
the
saying
second
like
one.
martial arts movies of the 90s.
Oh yeah, because he was awesome.
Yeah, he was like
fucking
a badass.
Like
Yeah,
he
I'm
was
not
the
saying he
best in the
wasn't.
rundown, dude. He fucks
Yeah.
up the rock.
Oh yeah, he did.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he
was in
isn't.
Surf Ninjas.
I was so pissed when he got killed in that movie. I was like, why?
Oh, I was mad. I was like, dude, he's the coolest guy in this
You
whole
could have
movie.
made him like a badass throughout
Yeah.
the movie.
He beats the fuck out of the rock
Right, he
too.
does.
He goes insane on that dude. No, it's Sam Rockwell.
Oh yeah, Sam Rockwell. Fuck, I knew he was.
Yeah, Sam Rockwell.
Yeah, because he's like one of the kids.
Yeah, he's the main.
He's the only one that talks.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then you notice Skeet Ulrich sitting next to him.
Yeah,
There.
I've seen that. In that yeah.
Madison didn't realize, like, that's Skeet Ulrich.
There's
right? She's
another
like, who's
one.
that? Is like the killer from Scream.
I
Like,
just didn't see him. I wasn't paying attention.
Yeah, there's another one too, and I don't remember who the other one was. They said it in trivia. I don't think.
say there's another one.
Yeah, another one that we should know, but you won't see it like unless you pause it at just the right moment.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can't remember who the hell it was now.
It's crazy to see like the star power that's in this that before they were big, like Sam Rockwell, who's a massive actor.
I
now.
love Sam Rockwell.
And he's
I
like-
will watch anything with him.
He's awesome. It's known that he has to dance in every movie he's in, right?
Oh yeah,
He dances in every movie except for apparently the Ninja Turtles.
He's a good dancer.
For-
I loved him in Galaxy Quest. He's like, I'm not going out there. My name is Guy, and I'm wearing the red shirt. And then he ends up making it.
I'm not going out.
So they make them the technical engineer or some
Something
shit
like
I don't
that.
by
remember.
the end.
Yeah.
God, I love
He was
that movie.
awesome. He was hilarious in that movie.
Oh God, yes.
It's not looking good.
Wasn't he also in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. He was the asshole, the one that she was like dating
Yeah,
or whatever. Yeah.
My
Yeah, the
favorite
tool.
scene in that movie is the fucking minefield with shovels.
What's the
Fuck,
meaning
don't
of
think,
life
just
and everything? It's a fucking number.
All right, Madison, go ahead and read it.
When I'm fixing the setup.
You should have done that before we
I'm
started.
doing it right now. Love you. Sam Rockwell, date of birth, November 5th, 1968, known for his already.
You're good. We got you.
Dynamic leading performances in the independent film world. Sam
You got this.
Rockwell was born in Daly City, California, and experienced a bohemian upbringing. The son of artist-actors, Sam moved to New York City with his parents when he was 2. After 3 years in the Big Apple, his parents got divorced. His father moved to San Francisco, so Sam spent much of his youth traveling back and forth between his parents. His mother, whose unconventional lifestyle, replete with sex, drugs, and flamboyant hippies, introduced Sam to some very unorthodox adult pastimes at an extremely young age, but it was through his mother that he became involved in theater, making his stage debut at the age of 10. He we're good.
Are you good, man?
No, I'm having a stroke over here. You guys help. Call
Good
somebody.
Lord, man.
He later
Do you need
He-
somebody else to read?
No. He later attended Jesus.
He attended Jesus?
I guess.
Yeah.
That's how I feel right now.
My God.
San Francisco's High School of the Performing Arts, where at the age of 18, he made his film debut in Clown House 1988, an ill-fated thriller revolving around three brothers' fight to the death with a group of maniacal.
Maniacal?
Maniacal.
You know, when he was young, he kind of looks like Austin O'Brien.
Circus entertainers.
Austin O'Brien. I'm trying to think who is that.
Last Action Hero.
Oh.
I see
Kinda.
it. Other stage credits include Face Divided as part of the EST Marathon series and the off-Broadway production of Goose Pimples. What is that?
Goosebumps.
Mm-hmm.
That's the technical term, goose pimples.
Okay.
What? I've never heard this.
It's like old-fashioned. People, like, I don't know, like 1800s, that's how they said it was goose pimples, and then over time it became goosebumps.
Why wouldn't they just call it Goosebumps then? It's
Because back then, like, they didn't make up, like, words for words. So, like, it's very technical. So, like,
So wait, hold on. Like, not like the books.
Right.
Okay.
Like, actually Goosebumps. Like,
Oh.
yeah, it's not named for the books or anything like that. It's a play, but it's based on the old name for Goosebumps.
Oh, I
Goosebumps.
gotcha. Following his screen debut, Sam moved to New York and proceeded to make 20 more films, including Last Exit to Brooklyn, 1990, and Tom DeCillo? Tom DeCillo's Box of Moonlight, 1996. It was the actor's work in Box of Moonlight that first won him recognition. Sam gave an engaging performance that sparked industry attention. Unfortunately, the independent film disappeared at the box
office.
You're killing me, Smalls.
Killing me too, apparently. Jesus.
His finger was on the button waiting for you to fuck up again.
It was.
He's gonna do it again, guys. Just wait.
Although unrewarded in his efforts, Sam continued to work in the indie film industry.
You got this.
John Duigan's?
Sure.
Okay. Lawn Dogs. He starred as a lonely outsider who formed a controversial alliance with a rebellious 10-year-old girl. His performance earned him Best Actor awards at both the Montreal and Barcelona film festivals. He also starred opposite Steve Zahn, Harvey Fierstein, and Michael Lerner.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in Safe Men, the comedy about a pair of untalented singers who, through a case of mistaken identity, get caught up with the Jewish mafia. That sounds highly entertaining.
Most of his movies are.
Was a critical favorite and enjoys a loyal cult following. Sam also starred in Saul Rubinek.
That sounds great.
Okay. Dark
go with
comedy
that.
Jerry and Tom. As a used car salesman who moonlights as a part-time hitman.
Hitman. Hitman?
What's the difference?
Either. Potato, potato.
Okay, exactly.
Put that cookie
Tomato,
down!
potato, like tomato, potato. It's the same thing.
Tomato, potato.
What'd you say? Tomato, tomato?
She said tomato, potato.
It's not the same thing.
It is
Not the same
though.
thing.
To 4-year-olds,
In her world, it is.
That was bad timing, Karen.
Pretty sure they taste different.
They taste
Came out
way
at the same
different.
time. I'm sorry.
I know. The 3 independent films gained him considerable notice. As a result of these films, Sam made the jump to big budget features. Films such as Woody Allen's Celebrity 1998 and Michael Hoffman's A Midsummer Night's Dream 1999 with Kevin Kline and Michelle Piff. There's a P in front of the F.
It's usually the F that you're pronouncing, not the P.
Oh, Pfeiffer?
There you go.
Michelle Pfeiffer?
Yeah, that's Michelle Pfeiffer.
There's a P in front of the F.
Yeah, but you
Pfeiffer.
say the F.
Pfeiffer.
Pfeiffer? Pfeiffer? Pfeiffer?
I was gonna say Pieffer, but it didn't work like that.
Pfeiffer?
That's wrong.
Anyways, would introduce him to the mainstream audiences with roles in Galaxy Quest 1999 and The Green Mile 1999. Would mark his successful transition into the mainstream film industry. He since made appearances in major Hollywood films such as Iron Man 2, 2010, and Cowboys and Aliens, 2011.
I forgot about that movie until I just saw it on his IMDb. Cowboys
This
and
is
Aliens.
a tough one.
He's got a lot of good movies, but I'm like, the Cowboys and Aliens one, I don't even remember him in because I've only seen it once. I know it's got Harrison Ford,
I don't think I've ever seen it.
and I think it's
I've
got
seen it
Harrison
once.
Ford. But the
I don't
movie, I
Harrison
remember
Ford being in it.
I remember it being one of those movies because it's like a Western with aliens.
Dad
Yeah.
likes Western
But
movies.
but it's not this.
It's
bad.
weird.
It's so
It's
dumb.
weird.
It's so stupid.
Okay. With Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig.
Okay, so it was Harrison Ford and Daniel Craig.
I don't remember Harrison Ford being in it.
I thought I
Eric was getting ready
did.
to look it up, and then she said, with Harrison Ford, he's like, you can just see the defeat on his face. Like,
Like, I was looking it up.
I was getting there, damn it.
It was in the words.
I thought I knew Daniel Craig was in it. I couldn't remember if Harrison Ford was in it, but
I don't remember him being in it. That's
it was
pretty
hidden
sad.
in the words. I had to look for it.
It'd be like
He's-
a main actor you would think it would be in it. But
yeah,
I
you
guess-
think you'd remember Harrison Ford in a movie.
Yeah.
He starred in the thriller A Single Shot 2013 and in the comedic drama Better Living Through Chemistry 2014 opposite Olivia Wilde. More recently, he appeared in Poltergeist 2015 and played quirky hitman Francis in Mr. Right
I love
2016
that movie. That movie's
opposite Anna
hilarious.
Kendrick.
I've never seen it.
Oh, it's good.
I thought about watching
It's funny.
Just because of him and Anna
A
Kendrick.
lot of Anna Kendrick movies are really funny.
It was
You
really
know they're
funny.
doing
I
a sequel
liked
to
it.
that movie that she did with Blake Lively. A Simple Favor.
Oh yeah, no.
It's like a
I still need to watch that.
it's like a
though.
quirky kind of comedy thriller.
Yeah.
But like we watched it, me and Crystal did, and it was really good.
Yeah.
Um,
I've heard good things. I need to watch it.
but they're doing a sequel to it, which is wild to me because the way they ended, I was like, why? But okay,
They'll
Money
probably
cash
90s
grab.
retro it.
huh?
They'll probably 90s retro it somehow. You know, like how they'd kill the bad guy. The end of every 90s like thriller or whatever. They kill the bad guy, and then the next one, like he's back somehow.
That's
They
not
better
how
make
this
it
one
look
worked.
good.
No, but I'm just saying, like they'll retro whatever it was.
Right.
And
No, I don't know if they'll do that. I don't think they'll do that. I don't want to give anything away for the movie because I think you should watch it.
I get
but,
it.
Yeah.
In 2018, he was. Huh?
Eric's running his mouth.
Of course he is.
I always do.
Yeah. It like stops, and then whenever he speaks, he's usually running it.
Damn.
Am I lying?
Somewhat.
Only with you. He's only like that with you.
What did he say about me just now?
Don't worry
He didn't
about it.
say anything about you.
He didn't.
He didn't say anything. Just read.
Just say it.
Just read. Jesus. And did you hear him?
No, I didn't hear anything.
He's attacking me.
I don't hear anything.
Eric, shut your mouth.
I think I'm losing it. In 2018, he received his first Academy Award, Golden Globe, BAFTA, BAFTA, and SAG Award. SAG Award. I don't know what that stands for, though. For his role as police officer Dixon in the indie film 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri. Okay,
Oh, I want to see
2017.
that.
In 2018, Sam played the role of George W. Bush in Vice 2018, which earned him Best Supporting Actor nominations at the Golden Globe Award and Academy Awards. I said that without messing up. Holy nutsack. In 2019, he starred in Takai Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
Taika Waititi.
He's the guy who directed the original movie, What We Do in the Shadows.
Yeah,
And
he
he also
played one
did
of the
Thor
vampires.
Love and Thunder. He did Thor Ragnarok.
He's naming these things like I'm gonna miraculously.
He's a really
remember
funny
him.
guy, but he's also very good filmmaker.
Yeah.
Okay. Wait, I already read that. World War II comedy Jojo Rabbit 2019, which won the People's Choice Award at the 2019 Toronto
heard of that
International
movie.
Film
Oh, it's
Festival.
such a good movie.
It's very good. It's a really
Just
good movie.
don't be fooled like me and thinking it's a complete comedy.
It's not. It's
Because
not a comedy.
I thought, based on the trailer, it was a complete comedy, and I'm like watching it, and I'm happy about it, and then all of a sudden you're like, oh, fuck!
Taika Waititi
Oh.
directed that one too.
Yeah. It's good, though. It is very good.
It's a very good movie.
It's
Yeah.
World War II.
Uh-huh.
The kid has Hitler as a imaginary friend,
Oh.
Oh,
because Hitler is supposed to be, like, great.
And Taika Waititi
you know, they've
plays Hitler.
indoctrinated these kids into believing that.
Yeah.
So he's, like, his best friend in this kid's fantasies.
Yeah.
And he has him as, like, a imaginary friend, and his mom is
Scarlett
I don't know.
Johansson.
Yeah, but she's also, she's a very German woman, and she doesn't try to steer him away from it, but at the same time, she is.
Yeah.
You have to see it. It's so good. It is so good.
let me guess.
It's a good movie.
He kills them all in the end.
Yeah, the kid goes crazy and just fucking
Murders everybody.
I was saying Hitler, but okay.
Hitler gets it.
Hitler kills a lot. Hitler killed a lot of people. What are you talking about?
Hitler. We wouldn't even be worried about him with an AK-47 in a room because that's light compared
That's
to
minimal
what he's done.
what he did.
On television, Sam has appeared in HBO special Dead Drunk and episodes of NYPD Blue, Law and Order, and The Equalizer. That's that.
Alrighty. All right. Favorite Sam Rockwell movie?
Mine is Jojo Rabbit.
Jojo Rabbit.
First time, it's easy to pull out like all of his comedic performances and say like, oh, that's great. He's great. He is great in his comedic performances. But when you see him play serious roles, that's when you really see it. Like Jojo Rabbit and Moon are the two that come to my head that like really showcase.
And I don't think he gets enough credit for that either.
No, I agree.
Like he got a lot of credit for Moon, but I mean, like you would think that he would have picked up like way more serious roles.
I would agree.
After that,
yeah. But I would say those two movies are probably the
because he's a very charismatic actor.
He really is. I think that it'd be cool to see him play like a serial killer. That charisma playing out that way.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, he'd be really good.
He wasn't too bad in the new Poltergeist, the remake.
No, it's just a shitty movie.
Yeah, just the movie wasn't good.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think that mine's probably Jojo Rabbit.
I think mine, I don't remember him having a huge role in this, but I think mine is probably The Assassination of Jesse James.
I've never seen it.
It's a really good Western. It's a good fucking movie. And then, obviously, Ninja Turtles is amazing. But, like, him as an actor, I really liked him as the bad guy in Charlie's Angels. I think he was great.
I've never seen it.
No?
No.
I think it was great.
It honestly comes down to two movies for me. It's either Green Mile or
Green Mile's a good one. Yeah,
or Galaxy Quest. And Green Mile is probably one of my like more.
And Galaxy Quest. You know what? Yeah, I think it's gonna probably be Galaxy Quest. I love Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
No, I get
It's
that.
such a
Galaxy
fun
Quest,
movie.
you see more of his like comedic and his more. You see
Oh,
more of him in that
you
movie.
see more of him in Galaxy Quest for sure, and you get to see him in full out like scenes.
Yeah.
And
then
Well,
the
same
Green
as
Mile, you
Hitchhiker's
see
Guide.
more-
Like
Yeah.
he's the same in that. Like he's very charismatic and funny.
Yeah, and then Green Mile, you don't see very much of his acting. I mean, you see his acting, like you see like the
Yeah, but he doesn't have he's not the main guy.
Yeah, he's not. He doesn't have a whole big part.
Yeah.
I've never
He's kind of just there.
I mean, he has a big part in the movie.
yeah, he's just
but
kind of there though.
He's just there.
I've never really seen any of his movies besides Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and Iron Man 2.
You ever watch
But I
Galaxy
don't remember
Quest?
him in Iron Man 2, so it's gonna
Watch
have to be
Jojo
Ninja
Rabbit on a
Turtles.
day that you don't feel like ugly crying.
I don't think you're gonna cry. It's sad, but
It's very sad,
Okay.
and he plays such a big role.
yeah,
And
he's
not
he's one of the
necessarily
main
he has
players
a
in
huge
that.
main role in the movie, but he plays such a big role in the plot.
yeah.
Like, yeah, it's
Even
Jojo
his
Rabbit.
character himself is kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but anyway, what was your favorite?
Like I said, between the two, I'd probably say Galaxy Quest.
Galaxy Quest. It's up there too. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty much anything he's in is pretty fun. You know, he's married to what's her name? I can't remember her name. She was in the opening scene for Trick or Treat.
Oh,
I can't remember her name, but she's been in other stuff too. She's been in a bunch of movies. She's done a lot of with
blonde,
she's done some James Gunn stuff. I think I want to say
Yeah,
she's done a couple James Gunn movies. I can't remember.
yeah. She's a because I remember when I
Leslie
found
Bibb.
out that they were married,
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah, whenever I realized that, like they're still married, and he still praises her all the time. I
Sam
don't-
Rockwell played as Mr. Wolf in the Bad Guys movie.
Yeah. But his old lady's hot. So
That movie was good. I like watching that movie with the boys.
just goes to show you, comedy is more important than anything. If you can make me laugh, I'm in.
it's true. Yeah. All right. Well, let's move on then.
Or maybe I should say personality. Personality is most important.
Right.
Like
All
how
right.
you remembered.
Yeah, I know. I remembered this time. Let's go ahead and move on into our movie.
Let's talk about the movie.
Different vibes whenever we do this earlier in the day.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely a different like are we more entertaining? Or are we just boring? Like I feel like we're like kind of like still
Well, it gets a little
trying to get
more,
our groove on. You know, like trying to get the.
It gets a little more lively
In
when
the
we start to
groove.
talk about the movie. And why did you go away?
Because you're not hitting the right button.
I will punch you in the eye.
That'll be
I
the
will
right button.
throat punch you.
Thank you.
Do the
Someone at
Matrix
the
just
front door.
right in
Ringing
the
the
throat.
doorbell.
Tell him no. We already have one.
Who is it?
Oh, it's Avery. It's Avery.
Yell at her. Let me.
She's probably already in the door, Madison.
What do you want?
Jesus, calm down.
Cool.
You can yell at her whenever we're done here.
Okay.
Just run.
All right. This week we watched
Yell at 'em
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from 1990.
Cowabunga.
Obviously, I'm representing today. Nobody else is, I guess. So
I don't really have a lot of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle things.
I do. I guess
I do. I had a shirt, but I wanted to
down here.
I used to.
Rocksteady,
I used to have a
Leonardo
whole
and
shit
Michelangelo. Right
when it came to
me.
Ninja anything,
I actually have outfit specifically based off of Ninja Turtles, because I went to Comic-Con to go and meet them, and I was like, well, I have to dress up so they know I'm there to meet specifically them.
I know. I didn't even bring my pic. I should have brought my picture down. That used to hang right here, actually.
I think I still have some of the old Ninja Turtle toys from the 90s.
you better.
I hope you if you do, dude, I'd be looking up the prices of that shit.
No shit.
Because some old action figures are worth money.
The ones that the pop-up heads and
Yeah,
the
those
old
are worth money.
Frankenstein.
They're worth money, dude.
Yeah.
Seriously, look it up.
The old Frankenstein,
Frankenstein ones, those are really worth money.
If you're lucky enough to have any of them still in the package.
Yeah, right.
No, they're definitely not in the package.
Yeah.
Fuck no. I played with those.
Accessories
I
are
played
gone.
hard. Those toys got played hard with back when I was a
they
kid.
did.
Good thing they're anatomically incorrect.
Yeah.
Anyway, you have a plot synopsis for us there,
Yes.
Crystal?
Oh my goodness.
A quartet of humanoid turtles
Ew,
trained
what
by
is
their
on
mentor.
this?
What?
It's sticky.
Spider eggs.
I don't know. Somebody probably spilled something on it.
Jaeger.
No, I didn't spill it. I haven't even drank any fucking Jaeger.
Alcohol, period.
I don't know. Maybe. Or pop. Whatever. Anyway.
I'd say something else, but gross you both out real quick.
No, it's definitely not that.
Trained by their mentor in ninjutsu, must learn to work together to face the menace of Shredder and the Foot Clan. 1 hour and 33 minutes. Brian Tochi plays Leonardo's voice. Josh Pius was Raphael and his voice. He was also a passenger in the cab at the very beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Corey Feldman, Donatello's voice. Robbie Rist as Michelangelo's voice. Judith Hogue as April O'Neil. And Elias Koteas as Casey Jones. Splinter was Kevin Clash. That was the voice. That was it. As far as I'm going to go.
All right. Would you recommend, Madison? That's a stupid question, I know.
Meh.
Yeah.
She says,
yeah, I
meh.
would. Yeah.
I think that if you haven't seen this fucking movie, especially if you have kids, or I don't know, you were a kid at one point.
Let's just cover all the bases.
Let's face it here. This is a movie that it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's kind of like a must-watch throughout your childhood or as an adult, like The Goonies or
our adulthood. This is our childhood.
If you haven't seen the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, you're under a fucking rock. And it's just, so of course I'm going to recommend you watch it if you haven't seen it. And of course I'll watch it again. I've seen this movie hundreds of times.
Mine would be yes and yes. I probably watched it maybe once when I was a kid. Probably because he made me, or my mom rented it and made us watch it. I wasn't a huge, whenever he'd get into those ninja movies, I'm like, I'm out. Good, see ya. So I never really got into it as a kid, but I did remember bits and pieces of it. I haven't seen it since, so I watched it this time. But yeah, I'd recommend it. I'd watch it again. I love the fact that they use the comic as the basis for the film rather than using, just recycling the cartoons and making it completely kid, bright and.
I mean, they took a lot of elements from the cartoons and from the comic books.
They did, but I'm saying as the basis. I like that they used the comic as the basis for the story. They used that as their actual. With a darker tone. They went with that for the origin. They used the original origin instead of some cartoonized version of it. I mean, they used it as the basis, and I really liked that.
And Raphael was going around, damn.
Yeah, Raphael's all pissed off at the
parents
world.
Did not like that in '90. They were like, "Why is he cussing so much?" They're thinking they're going into
some
this Ninja Turtles movie.
PG, of course.
It was based off of
he wasn't saying fuck. He was saying damn.
Yeah.
So they were like, so parents were
maybe
in
he saw
uproar
some
about
beavers
it.
and
Yeah.
So what about you, Eric?
Well, of course I'm going to say yes and yes. I used to watch this movie.
You're a boy from the 90s.
Yeah, I mean, I used to watch this movie on repeat when I was a kid.
Yeah, this kid used to throw ninja stars at me every time I'd walk by.
Ninja stars too, dude.
I was surprised.
Ones,
they weren't real.
Ours were.
I always liked the.
I took the plastic circle ring off mine.
Yeah, you did.
Because you remember you got the ninja stars. They had that little plastic circle ring around it, so that way you didn't hurt nobody. I always took the fucking ring off of it and threw it at people.
You did.
Probably Karen the most.
It was.
Yeah, usually.
And I mean, I probably almost ruined that VHS tape back then because I watched it so many times.
It so much. Yep. I was that way with Terminator 2. So that's a pretty heavy recommend, I'd say. If you haven't seen it, I mean, come on, get real.
I was probably the only holdout. Everybody's like, "Was she going to say?" I liked it. I thought it was fun.
I didn't think you'd hate it.
I thought it was very fun.
I didn't think you'd hate it.
It was a good time.
Should I cut all my hair off again? Be honest. Not like super short, just like above my shoulders.
Good. It's up to you. You're the one that's got to wear your hair.
Yeah.
I know, but like I'm on the fence about it, so I need other people's opinions.
Ask people later. Right now we're doing a podcast.
Sorry, ADHD kicked in.
Yeah. Kicks in a lot.
Would you recommend? Yeah.
She's thinking of the Ninja Turtles heads.
And thinking about their bald
I should just
head.
go shave. You're bald.
They pulled it off. I could too.
I've always wanted to go super
donate
short
all
with my
my
hair,
hair.
but I don't have the balls for it.
So what?
Go super short, like have like half of it shaved. Or
Your
something
hair is as short as I think it could be.
I know. That's what I'm saying though. Is like I can't go any shorter than this. Like I would love to do something cool, like shave half of it or something, and like
don't do that.
I know that's what I'm saying. I don't have the balls.
You used to have really long hair.
I did.
Anyway, a fucking word from our beauty. Anyway,
Pantene is
we're gonna get
this
into
video.
You're gonna have to have like a little pop up on the video.
Yeah, like,
word from our sponsors.
Yeah.
Head and Shoulders.
Should I cut my hair?
Maybelline.
Great clips. It's great.
And now for our makeup tips.
Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Maybe it's a Ninja Turtle.
No, jeez. Yeah, I wake up every morning, I crawl into the sewers, and a Ninja Turtle does my makeup.
That's nice of him.
I know.
It really should be, maybe she's born with it, maybe she just had surgery.
What was the one movie with the girl Ninja Turtle? The light blue one.
It wasn't a movie, it was a show that was on in the late 90s. It was called
It's kind of like
Ninja Turtles: The Next Mutation.
Yeah, it was like a pop off from like
it was
Power
supposed
Rangers.
to be. Yeah, well, it was from the same studio.
Yeah,
but her name was China, and she was the light blue Ninja Turtle, and she was from Japan, and she was supposed to be.
Yeah, they
carry the two.
They went.
That math don't math.
What do you mean?
Her name is China, and she's from Japan.
I think her name was China. I can't remember. I think it was China.
I thought it started with an L. I thought it was something else.
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there was
not China. That's weird.
I'm thinking there was a girl Ninja Turtle named China. I know eventually there's a girl Ninja Turtle in the comic books.
Yeah.
Hell, in the last Ronin, there's 4 new turtles after the turtles died. Like 4 other turtles took over. I don't remember even where they came from, to be honest with you, because there's like the whole running. There's always
different
comics.
canon and everything depending on
But yeah,
Venus de Milo.
Venus, that's what it was.
Venus de Milo.
Venus.
Yeah, Venus de Milo.
China from Japan.
No, I'm
no,
pretty
that
sure...
makes sense because that's a painting from or a statue from Leonardo.
Yeah, she is named after the artwork.
Okay, so I'm thinking that there was one named China or something like that in the comic book, so a female Ninja Turtle or something.
Yeah, it might be.
I could be wrong.
There's so many different comics, so many different iterations. It's kind of like, Star Wars or, any one of those where people just pick up fan fiction and
right.
And it depends on your
Star
interpretation
Wars.
of it, or even comics. Just comics in general. Because Lord knows there's so many different ways you can take the canon in comics. So
I just remember trying to watch it when I was a kid, and I never really got into it.
It's not that good.
I watched the original cartoon.
It was a live action show, and it was people in suits and all that stuff, it obviously doesn't have the budget that the movies had. It was still kind of cool though. I think it only went on for like 1 or 2 seasons.
Yeah,
I just remember the cartoon.
Yeah, it wasn't on very long.
Whenever
Ninja Turtles. Yeah, I watched that one.
Whenever I was with Dad, I always watched the one from the 80s?
Yeah,
I always watched the one from the 80s, and then whenever I was at Mom's, we had cable, so I watched the one that was on Nickelodeon.
That one wasn't too bad either.
No,
it was a little bit darker,
but
it was good. I like the computer animated one from the early 2000s, late 2000s maybe.
TMNT.
That one was pretty fun
too. Where they were in the jungle.
No, they were in the city.
I played the game more than I did.
No, I'm talking about the show. I know what you're talking about.
Oh yeah, I remember the game. It was the Turtles in Time.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I played that game.
That's what I'm talking about.
I played that game like a lot.
Yeah, I played the shit out of it.
What is it?
Turtles in Time.
Shit, Turtles in Time. Oh, I have all them fucking games, man. They're awesome.
I never played
those games. Are great.
Just watched it.
Oh no, I played that game like.
Oh man, that game
all the time.
Yeah, they're hard as fuck too.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
Getting that sewer part where you're on like the little
the
fucking surfboard
things or whatever.
Fuck you.
Those things are coming up out of the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you weren't like paying attention to the water, you'd be like, "Where'd you come from?"
And they look like knockoff xenomorphs. Is what they look like.
I hated the fucking dinosaur part. When you got into the dinosaurs.
Yeah. Those games are awesome, though. I mean, we also got the new side-scroller that came out recently, Shredder's Revenge.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
And we beat the fuck out of that game.
Did you?
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good game.
Okay.
But, yeah, there's a bunch of different iterations and everything else. And, I mean, it's a fucking rabbit hole right there. If you want. Like, the original comic book was in black and white, and they carried guns and they cussed. Mm-hmm. And they drank alcohol and all kinds of stuff.
Mm-hmm. They were very rough.
It was very gruff, and they killed people. They weren't ninjas essentially. They were called Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, but they would pull out an Uzi and shoot you instead. So it's
pull out a gun. I'm only a ninja in the very slackest of terms.
Yeah, well, that didn't go on very long before like some fucking, I don't know who made the cartoon or where the original studio was, but they came in and said, "Hey, we'd like to turn this into a kid-friendly show." They're like, okay, well, then they came up with the concept idea of doing the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show, and then the comic books went on to become a little more family-friendly.
Yeah.
Even the dark ones were still, those came out after the show.
Do you know how much the originals are worth?
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, buddy.
Yeah. And if I couldn't recommend a better comic book, I would recommend you read The Last Ronin. It is such a good fucking comic. Yeah, and you can get the whole graphic novel. So
if I remember right, the original comic went close to $1 million.
I believe it.
Yeah, but that was like 20 years ago. Can you imagine how much it is now?
I believe it. I'm sure them comic books are expensive. I mean, they're back in the 80s. I mean,
yeah, the last auction I heard of was in the early 2000s. I think Eric's right. It went for like $995 or something like that.
Well, you got to understand, like the Ninja Turtles is probably one of the most well-established.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, whoever bought it.
Franchises of all time.
Whoever bought it, can you imagine how much the thing's worth now?
Because
that shit only appreciates. And somebody's going to pay close to $1 million for a comic book.
Oh,
they're not going to crack it.
Yeah.
They're going to leave it right where it is.
It's so weird to think that something so random, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, can just, like why not? I don't know. Like,
it's the market. You never really know what's going to be popular and what won't.
Until you put it out there and see how kids react to it. I think that what really drove this up was the cartoon. It was fun for kids to watch. Yeah. It was entertaining. It was colorful.
Something to get popular, get your kids into it. Like, get kids into it. Like, kids will drive popularity.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Because then they're going to want to do toys, and they're going to do merchandising and clothes and...
That's like Fortnite. It's one of the biggest things, one of the biggest games you can play right now. And it's because kids love the game so much because they want to collect the skins and it's colorful and it's not overly violent. Like, and a lot of parents will let their kids play it. Mm-hmm. So, and it's fun for them to play. Even I play the shit. I think it's a fun game.
Yeah.
So there's reasons for that. You just have to know how to capitalize on what's going to, attract kids and people to it. And Ninja Turtles back in the day, I'm a victim of that. I was obsessed with the Ninja Turtles.
I don't know a boy in the 90s that wasn't.
Yeah, I mean, honestly. I grew up, I had the original I still have a couple of the original VHSs that you could get from Burger King. Mm-hmm. I still have a couple of those.
Yeah, nice product placement in this movie, by the way.
yeah, I saw that. Yeah, the kid eating the Burger King. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he had the whole meal set out like.
And then Domino's was also in there too, and I'm like, okay, come on.
Which I found strange, and I think it was in trivia too. But is it just me, or do I remember it not being Domino's that had all the merchandising? It was Pizza Hut.
I thought it was Pizza Hut.
Yeah,
it could have been later on that Pizza Hut did, but
I don't think so. I think it was Pizza Hut because I remember getting like the little toys and stuff when you get pizzas and stuff. I swear to you, I think it was this.
Well, Pizza Hut was more of the goat back then. Like, they had good pizza. Everybody loved pizza.
I mean, yeah, but I'm just saying it's strange to me that they used Domino's in the movie
instead of Pizza Hut.
And then Pizza Hut gets the merchandising deal or the franchising deal or whatever.
Yeah, that is weird. Pizza Hut's pizza.
I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. I think it's in trivia. If it's not in trivia, I'm pretty sure I read it and I remember that. I remember it that way.
Right.
I remember Pizza Hut being their merchandising or franchising people. Like,
it's wild because this movie's great. It's the best one in the whole franchise, but I have problems with this movie, especially problems there's a few problems with it that like not plot wise, but like movie wise that I'm like, but we'll get there. Like the lighting is one of them for me that I really fucking hate about this movie. It's so dark in so many spots. I'm like, if you would just brighten it up just a little bit, like give us a little more lighting, it could have looked so much better. Like, there's a few spots where I'm like, that's some good lighting right there. I like that because I can actually see, like, the background of the sewer layer and you know, the turtles really stand out, and I like that.
I was wrong. It went for $132,000. That's what it sold.
But that was still like in the early.
That's a house.
That's
right?
2024 market update. It was last sold.
Oh.
Yeah, that's last house though. That's a house.
Sale was $132,000
for a little
or a Maserati
for
maybe not a Maserati, but
you know that you could have bought for 10 cents back in the day.
Yeah, that's insane. Anyway, go ahead, Madison.
All right, we got a good chunk here, you guys.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Kind of long for this kind of a movie. Somebody went into some serious depth.
At the beginning of the film.
Put that cookie down!
There's no point.
Somebody took some Adderall and then wrote it out.
I'm going to memorize this entire movie and write it.
At the beginning of the film, April O'Neil is seen doing a newscast on the sudden wave of crimes. It is reported that these robberies of all kinds are happening suddenly and without warning and witness. She also notes that most witnesses only catch a glimpse of the robber, who most of the time seems to have been a teenager. As April leaves the Channel 3 news building, she is attacked by a group of juveniles after witnessing them stealing equipment. Raphael's Sai is then thrown into the streetlight, and the four turtles defeat and tie up the attackers, saving April. They then return to the sewers just as the NYPD arrives. During their escape, Raphael forgets to retrieve his Sai before the police notice it. However, April secretly puts the weapon in her purse. The turtles...
I really like the scene, though, because whenever I was a kid seeing this for the first time, I remember seeing Raphael's head sticking up out of the sewer and thinking, like, there he is. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, just being super psyched because I'm like, it's live action. I'm so excited. Like, and then seeing his, like, that just was like a little teaser until they bring in the opening credit or whatever, the title credit, and then them hopping around the corner and shit. I was like, just like as a kid, it just gave you goosebumps. You were so
and
excited.
I'm sorry, their costumes in this movie, I don't care what anybody says. I mean, they're fantastic.
Fuck yeah, they are.
Like, I realized that they were cumbersome.
Didn't Jim Henson Studio do that?
Yep.
Yeah.
They were cumbersome and they sucked to wear, and I get all of that. But you just can't do any better when you're trying to use CGI you cannot do any better than practical. Yeah. Now, could they have used those suits and maybe built upon them now with our technology?
Oh,
sure,
yeah,
they could have made them a little bit more less rubbery looking, like when they're moving.
Yeah, they could make them look way better. I mean,
but I'm just saying, like, to say, like, oh, we're just going to use CGI or whatever.
Probably
we've done it wrong. I mean, like, the reason people have such a great love for that movie
I want to
is
stop you there because one thing that I think that they could do that they could improve upon with the movies is it doesn't have to be a fully rubberized suit.
That's what I'm
saying. With the way people are built nowadays,
Yeah.
I mean, look at the fucking Rock, dude, or half these
That's
dudes
exactly
are
what
just
I was thinking,
jacked.
like, especially with the legs.
Yeah, like
you get somebody that's got some jacked legs.
Yeah,
you
get
put
them
some
jacked.
tights on
I mean,
them or whatever.
maybe you know, or whatever.
You
but
define it. You can define it, but you know.
But like you put a shell on them and a front shell and all that stuff, and then give them like prosthetics and shit for their hands and feet, dude. That's a turtle.
That's yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
if you can do it right, you'd have minimal foam latex.
Exactly.
But like, I'm just saying that like when it came to this movie and, some people make fun of you can see their faces inside of the mouth sometimes. Okay.
Madison never even realized I pointed it out to her.
Yeah, you pause it just right.
Hey,
there
that was on Donatello.
Yeah, open his mouth.
But, okay, fine. I'll give you that. But it was the 90s. It was the first time it was being tried. Mm-hmm. And when you look at, like, foam latex animatronic costumes, those are your go-to. Yeah. I don't care what anybody says. They're amazing.
Yeah, those are awesome. Like, especially because it wouldn't be so... It's not like another movie where, like, it's on screen for a few minutes. They're front and center the entire movie.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The entire movie, they're on screen front and center. Mm-hmm. So, I mean... Yeah, there's some things you see in the suit and things like... Hell, you can do this, call the same shit out for RoboCop.
Yeah,
I mean,
100%.
It's a guy in a suit.
Yep.
But like, and you can see some of the seams and things like that. But you know what, dude? It's a fucking movie from the 90s. Like...
And I guarantee you that before these things were 89. Remastered...
This came out in 90.
Before these things were remastered, you couldn't see it.
No, that's... Yeah. Because back then, with the resolution and everything, you couldn't
It was hard
see
to see
stuff.
that.
Hell, I'm sure because it wasn't until recently that they noticed the guy's face in Donatello's mouth.
Yeah.
So, because back then,
because I know I never noticed it until you see that still, and you're like,
what?
And
yeah,
you're
like, and especially whenever you're watching it in like Blu-ray, like full fucking HD, you're like,
you don't even have to pause it; it's just there.
It's there.
Back then, you weren't looking for that kind of stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. We were kids. We weren't looking for. I mean, we definitely didn't care or pay attention to plot.
Every time you're down here.
I don't get it.
And see, that's the thing. I was watching this time, and it was crazy for me because I remembered so much, but what I didn't remember was why. Like, what was the plot? Like, what were they doing there? But I remembered, like, so much else. Like, I remembered her wearing the yellow jacket and walking into the alley, and I remembered, like, I remembered so much. I was
thinking about it this time. I'm like, what is Shredder's ultimate goal?
Yeah, I was thinking about that too.
I'd never thought about it before until now. I'm like, what exactly is he trying to achieve?
One thing that I loved that they did in this movie that they did not hide. Because in a lot of movies that are trying to say like, oh, gangs are bad, and let's be honest, that's what the Foot is, right? It's just a big gang.
It's just a big gang.
Yeah.
But in all of these movies in the 90s that were like, oh, gangs are bad, stay away from them, they would still like candy coat it in a way that, kids are like, yeah, that's not terrible. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know about you,
like
but
you'd all
watch
the games and stuff.
Well, you'd watch movies where
that
it was
scene
like,
where
I'm not talking about this movie. I'm talking about other movies.
Oh, okay.
So other movies, when they have gang activity, they're like, oh no, gangs are bad, but we're not going to show you the bad. We're just going to show you that they are bad. But like, also at the same time, you're, like as a kid, you're like, don't seem terrible.
Yeah, it don't seem so bad.
Yeah, but in this, you get the whole Pleasure Island thing going on, and they're all, riding skateboards and having a grand time.
I don't know about you, but as a kid, I remember seeing that scene in the warehouse where all them kids are having fun. I was like, dude, that looks great. I want to be a Foot member.
But where I lost that feeling. And I don't remember if I had the same reaction when I was a kid.
With Shredder?
No, not Shredder.
Tatsu? Whenever he beats
because he has this, like, I don't know, attack of conscience after he sees how Master Splinter is getting treated.
Yeah.
And he gets mad and goes beats the fuck out of a kid. Like, okay, weird flex, but, like...
So originally, that kid was supposed to die.
Yeah, he dies.
But they make it seem as if he didn't die.
Well, in post, they had him breathing and yeah. But he's dead.
But if you look, whenever they go back to that kid and the look on his face, he's still laying there motionless.
Yep,
you can just barely see his face, but like, he's
dead.
He's supposed to have died.
He's supposed to be dead. But I do praise them.
That's too dark.
I praise them nonetheless for leaving that in to show kids that you think it's all fun and games until this asshole over here loses his temper about something and takes it out on you.
Yeah.
Like, I praise this movie for being a little bit more realistic and showing kids the bad sides of those things.
Yep.
So,
the Turtles are then seen walking home through the sewers, celebrating their victory. They meet with Splinter to discuss the outcomes of their first fight on the surface. As Splinter gives them notes on their fight and reminds them of what it is to be a ninja, Michelangelo is ordering dinner for the family.
If I see any anchovies on that thing.
My favorite scene is
Mikey was my favorite.
Yeah. He's got 30 seconds or 3 minutes.
Dude's got 30 seconds.
Yeah, 30 seconds.
I remembered that part too, and I remember them putting the pizza down in the slide.
That was Michelangelo.
And he's like,
yeah.
That was the guy who plays Michelangelo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think they were the only two. Because she's like, "Where's the other ones at?" I was like, "Well, I know Raphael's in the cab,
Yeah,
and that's Michelangelo, but I didn't know because obviously
I think they all four do, but I don't remember because one of them's a Foot Clan.
I say one of them's a Foot Clan member.
Yeah, when they're in the alley, or not the alley, but the subway, and they're about to attack April the second time.
That's what it was. That was Leonardo, I think.
Maybe.
I'm thinking that was Leonardo, the guy that smacks her.
Yeah. Maybe.
Yeah, we have a message for you.
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay, you're right. That is one.
That's the third one. I don't remember where the fourth one is, but I think they all have cameos.
Yeah.
Splinter reprimands him for not paying attention and suggests they all meditate on the events of the evening. The moment is interrupted, however, as the boys crank up the song Tequila and start dancing to it. Michelangelo suggesting it's like meditating. Raphael, disgusted at the immaturity his brothers are showing, goes off alone to see a movie, Critters. After the film, Raphael witnesses...
Such a good, that's awesome.
He goes, where do
they come up with this stuff?
Except the original scene that they had planned out there was way better. I don't remember if I put it in trivia or not. I think I did, but it was supposed to be Batman. It was supposed to be Tim Burton's Batman. Mm-hmm. And he was supposed to walk out and say something about cool car, terrible costume, something. I don't know. He was supposed to go on. It was hilarious to me. Somewhere. Yeah, I think that would have been a much better scene.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
I don't know why they had to change it.
Cool car, terrible costume.
Because him being shitty about Critters, just like as a person who liked Critters and likes this movie, right? And I'm watching this, and they're setting up Raphael as being whatever, but you're watching it and him coming out and going, "Where they come up with this stuff?" It just is another nail in the coffin for me to look at him and go, "You don't know how to have fun." You're just an asshole.
You say you don't know how to fun?
You don't know how to have fun.
Oh. You don't know how to have fun.
Yeah, you don't know how to have fun.
After the film, Raphael witnesses a couple of purse snatchers and interviews. One look at the side sends the would-be crooks running. They escape in the local park where they are ambushed by Casey Jones. Before Casey can deliver his final blows, Raphael intervenes. The purse snatchers take the opportunity to escape. So Casey takes out his frustration on Raphael, who ends up losing their one-on-one fight. Casey escapes, calling Raph a freak, which angers him even more than losing, and he chases Casey into the night.
So I really like that scene, just because it's the only actual scene that you get outside. Everything else takes place inside her apartment, in the sewer lair, on top of a roof, which is almost obviously a fucking set. And they're all in these enclosed areas. The part in Central Park between the two of them was great because it was the only real outside part that you get.
I don't disagree with you. That was a really cool scene. I wish that they would have introduced Casey Jones in a less negative way, because it makes him seem like he's just looking for violence.
That's the way he is, though.
I know, but he's not full on about it, though. He's not a straight up just thug, and that's sort of how they introduced him.
I don't know how he was in the comic books, the original comic books, but I know in the cartoon he was introduced as a bad guy first.
Yeah.
And him and Raphael did have a feud.
Yeah.
And that's how they met. And but he was
maybe
really
that
dumb.
Maybe that was their middle ground to introduce him as
I don't think
asshole. But
honestly, I don't think that they should have introduced Casey Jones in this one, because I felt like it was kind of overkill. It was a little too much. But I mean, he has his place in the movie, and I'm good with it.
I always like Casey Jones.
But then he's not even in the second one, so I'm like, it's so. But they bring him back for the third one.
Yeah, see, that's where my problem goes, is the lack of continuity between these movies, with the characters.
They change it like they did.
No, it's the same actor in the third one.
Yeah, he stayed with it.
Yeah, because they even have him back in time and stuff, but he's not Casey Jones. He's some kind of fucking crook or something like that.
Yeah,
but.
Like a cat burglar or whatever.
He's some kind of burglar.
That's sort of his MO, I guess, is to be just on the verge of being bad.
Yeah,
he's a good guy.
He walks
that
line of being excessively violent.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but Catwoman,
kind of,
sort of, because Casey Jones is more about he's trying to do the right thing, but he struggles with being too violent. Yeah. He's too brutal.
Yeah,
that's why. And
he thinks those kids deserved it, whereas Michelangelo just wants them to be pointed in the right direction.
Yeah, he said, he says, they deserve this, and he's like, not like, they deserve to be taught a lesson. He said, not like that, they don't.
Yeah.
You mean Raphael?
Raphael.
Yeah.
So, good.
Raphael returns home later that evening only to run into Splinter. Splinter discusses Raphael's anger with him and to not alienate himself from his brothers. In the morning, April is seen in her apartment with her boss, Charles Pennington, telling him about her attackers from the previous night. After an interview with NYPD Chief Stearns on TV, Raphael follows her into the subway to retrieve his missing Psy. But the Shredder had already sent several members of the Foot Ninja, the Foot Clan, to silence April. It says Foot Ninja.
So, I really like, as a fan of the old cartoon and stuff, April O'Neil in this movie, she's great. Like, she does a really good job. Do I, like, I've got to ask everybody, of all the April O'Neils, who's your favorite? Like, live action wise?
Honestly, I can't really say much because I don't remember any of the other Aprils. She's the only one.
Well, there's this one, and then there's the one that replaces her for 2 and 3.
Yeah, no, I don't remember her.
And then there's obviously Megan Fox.
Well,
no, it's definitely not Megan Fox.
Yeah.
So Megan Fox is the worst one in my opinion.
No.
No, I always liked
April O'Neil's not supposed to look like
I honestly
like America's Next Top Model. You know what I mean? Like,
I honestly like the one from 2 and 3.
I do too,
but I liked her persona in this one.
That's where I was at with it. Her hair, the way she had it.
Yeah, well, that's
her smart ass remarks.
You asked me, like I said, I don't have as much to go on as you guys do, but this Judith Hogue has always been April to me because
she's the best one.
She's always been April O'Neil.
The girl in 2 and 3, she's not bad.
No,
she gets a little more cocky and stuff in the third one, actually.
Oh, definitely.
She gets more of an attitude and things like that. But I know eventually April O'Neil in the comic books and stuff, she learns ninjutsu and stuff like that and becomes a martial artist herself.
Yeah.
So, because I think it was part of like that whole idea of not being the damsel anymore. She wanted to be able to protect herself.
Right. And I don't know. Go ahead.
Welcome to my life.
That's the route they went with the one from the 2000s. Was she started learning like jujitsu and stuff from Splinter.
Yeah.
And everything.
And that's how it goes in a lot of the comic books and stuff. Like the movie, the original, the TMNT movie, the CGI one. She was a martial artist, and her and Casey Jones were together, and blah blah blah.
Team.
So, and that's why I think whenever they come out with that movie, that was the best iteration of the Ninja Turtles that I had seen since the first original 3. Mm-hmm. Because like you had these other cartoons and stuff, and I didn't care for them. And they had that original live action show, but like whenever they came out with that movie, I was like, finally, a good fucking TMNT movie.
Yeah. And
it was actually really good, so.
Yeah. I might be scraping the bottom of the barrel here, but like I just kept thinking about the masks. Like them wearing masks, and it's the cartoons, all of it. Like, who are they trying to fool with the masks? the turtles.
I know.
Like, why wear the masks at all?
Well,
I mean, I know it's supposed to distinguish them. I know all of the reasons. It's just laughable to me because they're wearing these masks. It's like, can you imagine? Okay, so I saw, go to the cops. It's like, I saw a giant turtle. Can you be more descriptive? No, I can't. He was wearing a mask. You know what I mean? Like,
I couldn't see his full face.
I'm fairly certain that the masks aren't going to help if you're seen.
They are kind of ridiculous, but at the same time, they're just, I think they're mostly just there to identify the turtles separately.
I get that, but like, they couldn't wear like armbands.
Well, in the original comic book, they didn't have colored masks. They were just all the same color.
Yeah.
So, because it was in black and white. They were just there, and all you could tell the distinction was the letter on their belt.
Right.
Was their, the
and
letter.
that would work too. I mean,
maybe it's just a way for Splinter to distinguish them.
I mean,
Michelangelo, I'm Raphael. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Which April does that in the
My name is Jesus
show.
Christ.
I think it's the first episode. Whenever she takes him like out to eat, she's like, "Please, Michelangelo." He goes, "I'm Raphael."
They weren't wearing their masks then, though, were they?
They were.
Oh, they were.
But she hadn't learned their names yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just like every time I would see them with the masks on, and then like the trench coats and the hats would almost make it worse. Like going out, it's like somebody's not gonna notice a giant.
He's wearing like a trench coat, which is from the from the cartoon.
Right. No,
and it had him like, dude, you're not fooling anybody.
It's just a sickly, fat, old, bald guy that's got green skin.
And then they don't even wear them.
He's just got a bad case of jaundice.
It's like that's supposed to be their
disguise.
Their disguise, but like when they take April home, they're not wearing it, and they leave her apartment not wearing it, and then they come back not wearing them. Like, you're gonna get caught.
Yeah, yeah, he's like, so like ninjas, Casey Jones calls him a punker. He's like, what are you, some kind of punker? He's like, I don't like punkers, especially ones that are bald with green masks. Like, what you think that's a mask, dude? Look at him.
Right.
I don't know. Like I said, scraping the bottom of the barrel. I know it's a cheap shot, but that's all I could think of. It was like somebody getting questioned by the police, and then like, I don't know, he was wearing a mask.
I got attacked by a giant turtle. Can you describe it? A giant turtle. What do you want?
I couldn't see his face clearly. He was wearing a mask.
You look like a fucking turtle.
She's jumped and Raphael comes to her rescue after retrieving his sai. He then carries April to his home with the others, but he does not know he was followed. When April wakes up, she is told the story of the turtle's past by Splinter. She is then introduced to Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, and Raphael. The Foot Ninja, oh my god.
You imagine going up to a police sketch artist, and the police sketch art draws a fucking big-ass turtle with a fucking Bill Clinton mask on.
There's a turtle wearing a mask. Like, okay, so what kind of mask? A Richard Nixon mask or
a sock? Anyways, the foot guy who followed Raphael is seen peeking into the home of the turtles. The turtles then take April home, where they have some pizza and tell jokes. Tell jokes. After they leave, they return to find their home sabotaged and Splinter missing. The turtles are outraged and return to April's home and stay there until they can hear more about Splinter's location. After April's boss was blackmailed by Stearns because of his delinquent son, he went to April's home and told her to relax and not to push any buttons with Stern that day. Danny, Charles Pennington's son, spotted Michelangelo while in the apartment. When he returned to the East warehouse, the Foot's hideout, he told Shredder of the turtles' location. During her report, April ignored Pennington's warning and took another stab at Chief Stearns.
Chef Stearns.
Back in the apartment, Raphael was angry that the turtles were doing nothing to save Splinter, and he went to the rooftops to vent his anger.
He's doing like spins. And...
right during that scene, I love Michelangelo and Donatello's relationship.
Fight.
Pork
kitchen.
Yeah, pork rind.
They're definitely my favorites, but I really like Michelangelo.
Michelangelo's always been my favorite. He's orange. From across another rooftop, Casey Jones spotted Raphael in danger. Because Raphael was jumped by the Foot, thanks to Danny telling the Shredder where they were. Thanks a lot, Danny.
Yeah, Jesus. Dick.
After April got home, she took the other turtles on a tour of her antique shop without the knowledge of Raphael being in trouble. Meanwhile, Raphael was defeated and thrown through the rooftop window, crashing into the antique shop below. The turtles fought against the Foot members endlessly. I like the part whenever he comes up behind, who was it? Leo?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
April's like...
I remembered that part, too. I remember her taking her hands, like... I remembered that.
Like, oh, God.
Yeah.
I love how she's kind of like the mom or the older sister to a bunch of little brothers.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, she lets them get into shit and do stupid shit to each other.
But she'll rein them in
when she needs to. And that's how April has always kind of been. She's like the older sister to the turtles.
She really is.
That kind of just like keeps them in line when she needs to.
Right.
He gave them time to escape the building. Oh, eventually Casey Jones arrives and rescues the turtles. He gave them time to escape the building, which had been set on fire during conflict. While he fought off the Foot, he overheard April's answering machine. It was Pennington firing April from her job for having disobeyed his warning regarding Chief Stearns. The Turtles, Casey, and April then escape to April's old farmhouse as the NYFD
Fire Department.
Oh, okay. Arrives to fight the blaze. Back in the hideout, the Shredder is revealed to be holding Splinter as his prisoner. He is disappointed at the Foot's inability to ultimately defeat the Turtles. In the farmhouse, the Turtles are seen recovering from their first real defeat. After Raphael recovers, they all train to defeat the Foot. Meanwhile...
This is where you get the scene of Donatello laughing, and you can just see a man's face inside his mouth. It was like his eyes and teeth. That's
so you can see.
It was so weird.
It looked like he was wearing goggles.
Yeah. No, he was like you could see his big eyes.
Yeah.
And then his big white teeth inside of Donatello's mouth.
I'm sure that those masks were like form-fitting, right? So like it probably just
suctioned around his face.
Yeah, just like this is all you can see.
And he's probably like trying to laugh to kind of capture the essence of Donatello laughing.
There was no dubs when they were doing, like the actors inside of the suits had to say the lines because there was no the voiceovers were done in post.
Oh, they were done in. Well, yeah, I know that.
Yeah, so
they weren't obviously there on.
So
on
I'm saying that Donatello though would have been laughing because they were they
had to react.
In most cases they don't make the actors inside the suits actually say the lines, but they did for timing it because this is
of course
lower budget movie, so they don't have the kinds of things that they would usually use. So they just actually had them learn the whole script and say the lines. So he might have been laughing too. That could have been part of the reason that it was so wide too. I don't know.
Could be.
Meanwhile, Casey and April seem to be getting closer together by the minute. One night, the Turtles have a telepathic encounter with Splinter, and that is their sign to go back to New York City. After fixing a truck at the farmhouse, they return to their sewer home. They learn that Danny Pennington had run away from both his home and the Foot to hide with the Turtles.
I don't understand the logic behind going back to the lair. Why would you come back to town? I get coming back to town, obviously, but why would you go back to your sewer lair where the Foot knows where you are?
Where else would they go?
Well, they could go to. Doesn't Casey Jones have a place? He has his own place, correct? Or is he homeless?
Well, I would agree, but it could also be one of those things where they figure that. They're not going to come back there since they would be stupid to go back there. So they figure the clan thinks that they would be stupid to go back. Then it's a good place to hide.
I disagree. I feel like
Shredder. I'm not saying that I agree with that.
Yeah, I feel like Shredder would have somebody posted up there to.
You would think so, yeah.
In case they do come back.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I agree with that. I'm saying that that's a logic.
Right. I didn't understand. I'm like, why would they go back there? I understand not going back to April's.
I agree with you. I think that even if that was their logic, even if they showed up, Shredder would have had somebody there.
Yeah, somebody would have been posted up there. Any of them should have known that. So I just didn't understand. I was like, why didn't they just go to Casey? And why is Casey bitching about staying in a sewer and or whatever? Dude, you've got your own place, correct? Go back to your house if you need to, or take them with you. Obviously the Foot Clan don't know about your place or who the hell you are.
I was convinced that Danny was going back to...
Maybe he didn't want his place torched.
Yeah, no shit.
Fuck you guys ain't coming to my place.
I got a fucking deposit on this place and I want it back.
I just finished renovating.
Yeah.
Yeah, I felt like Danny was going to go back and narc him out. I totally thought that's what he was going back to do.
No, because they built his arc up to be...
I get that. I didn't remember him having a redeeming arc.
Yeah.
I couldn't remember that kid.
They do that in all these movies where they've got the kid character, essentially. In the next one, it's Keno. They have a redemption of some kind. Mm-hmm. Keno doesn't really learn anything, though. He has no redemption.
I honestly don't think I've ever seen the second one.
Really?
I remember the third one.
You might like the second one more.
Of it, but I don't think I ever saw the second one.
The second one, a lot of people like more because of the ninja rap, Vanilla Ice.
I do remember the rap.
All that stuff, all that. And it's a much more
ninja,
colorful and action-heavy. It's supposed to be more comedic.
Maybe I saw a lot of the stuff on TV, commercials and shit when I was a kid, but I honestly don't think I ever saw the movie.
The second one's a lot of people's favorites. So, because
not really for me. It was. I think honestly, the third one That first one probably, but the third one, it was either the first or third came down for me. The second one was kind of iffy for me.
The third one's my least favorite of the three of them because it seems like as these movies go on, they get campier and campier.
Yeah. The only thing I remember about the third one is their samurai outfits.
Yeah.
And something about a hourglass.
Lantern.
Yeah, it's a time. It's not an hourglass.
Yeah, I know that was like
it's a staff.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a staff that essentially has like an hourglass thing in it, and
gotcha.
It's a time machine essentially.
I remembered an hourglass. That's like all I can remember.
All right. But he is having constant nightmares, and he leaves the sewers to go back to the warehouse. Casey is awoken by Danny and follows him to the warehouse. Danny meets with the captured Splinter once more to hear the tale of his past, but as he is leaving, Shredder catches him and learns that the turtles are back. He then sends the Foot back into the sewers to finish the turtles, but this time he too was going. Meanwhile, Danny is caught by Casey, and after learning that Shredder orders Splinter to be killed, they rush to free him. Casey then fights with Tatsu, Shredder's right-hand man. I gotta sneeze. You're spreading your disease.
Fuck your own face!
Right?
He sneezes every time he comes down here. But as he's leaving, Shredder catches him. Meanwhile, Danny is caught by Casey and defeats him with a golf club. Splinter. Anyways, weirdo.
That's what they say in golf.
Shh. Splinter and Casey then convince the juveniles who were following the Foot to go home. They leave the warehouse to follow the Foot to help the turtles. Only to find that the noise from the fight has attracted a large crowd. The turtles easily defeated the Foot members, and their fight led to the rooftops. They then had their first encounter with the Shredder. They take turns fighting the Shredder and are defeated. After one last round of attacks, the turtles are defeated and forced to choose between sacrificing their weapons or saving Leonardo.
This is probably one of my favorite scenes of the whole movie. I think that it because it really shows, because my favorite thing about this movie compared to the other movies is how menacing the Shredder is in this movie. Mm-hmm. He's very menacing and very intimidating. Whereas in the second one, not so much. They show him more as I wouldn't say vulnerable character, but he's definitely not as menacing. Especially by the end of the movie.
He's more or less blinded by rage.
Yeah, and that always bothered me about the second movie. Which is accurate, I suppose, because he's always blinded by rage and vengeance and things like that. But in the first one, this one, he's just so fucking menacing. He's such a good villain in this one because he's so just...
He's looking to actually just kill him.
Yeah, he's so mean and menacing. He's intimidating.
Like you said, he's not using blind rage. There's no blind rage.
Granted, at the end, that's his ultimate downfall at the end of the movie for this one.
But up until then, he's very calculated.
Yeah.
He's got a plan. He's taken all of these kids from the city, and there's thousands.
I know.
You know?
Yeah.
I mean, how long has he been doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, he has a plan, and he's implemented it.
I think that the only thing in this movie that takes me out of a little bit is the farm scene. The farm scene is the thing that, like, it's cool. It's a great scene. It's a great, like, centerpiece to the movie. Like,
it
center
makes
area
sense.
Of the movie.
It's just not in the city. It's just not the teenagers.
Well, yeah, they get out of the city, and I get that they're, like, just trying to refine themselves.
No,
but at the same time, it's so brightly lit and it's so outside. And,
I think what your problem with it is probably the same problem I had. This is literally the biggest problem that I had with
April
this movie.
O'Neil.
No. No, it's how do I put it? Like, so the mix of comedy and drama and like the farmhouse scene especially. It's like the comedy's done so well and then those moments happen.
They're trying to bring the more
almost
drama.
Dramatic.
Well, it's almost laughable because you know you're kind of like just having a good time and enjoying the movie, and then all of a sudden, okay,
it's like it almost comes to a halt.
Now you're supposed to be like putting your feels now.
Yeah. Like so the scene
like the whole part where she's like drawing them and then talking, like narrating this situation. I'm like, why does this need to be?
That's
like that?
kind of my point. So like I guess the scene that jars me the most.
It's almost like a Sarah Connor moment there.
Well, it's jarring is the problem. So like, in most movies that have that, they kind of pump the brakes a little bit and give you a chance to transition from comedy into drama. Whereas like this one, it doesn't do that. It just slams you with it.
Yeah.
And like the scene in particular for me, where I really felt it, I felt like a whole whiplash scenario, was where Donatello and Casey are working on that truck.
Yeah.
And they're having a grand old time, and they're making fun of each other. They're calling each other names in alphabetical order even.
Yeah.
Hilarious, right? And then instantly, boom, we're in the bathroom with Raphael on his deathbed.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, okay, I'm not supposed to laugh right now.
See,
but I'm still reeling a little bit from that prior scene. I want to laugh.
As soon as they get to the house, it's like instantly, it's like, all right, we're being slammed with emotion now. And I'm like, this is I get that it's supposed to be a little bit of a darker version of the Ninja Turtles, but you don't have to take it back a little bit.
It's the transition I have a problem with. They literally did no transitions from comedy to drama. It was just, you're laughing and then,
no, it was like action and comedy straight into drama. And you're like, okay.
And there was no real, like, easing you into it. It was just, boom, you're in drama land now, and it's.
And I get what they're
serious.
setting you up for. They're setting you up for the whole thing with Splinter around the fire, and that's good. That's fine.
Yeah,
I like that scene.
Yeah.
I really do.
No,
I thought
do
it was
too.
great. But they're set up to get there with like.
I like the dramatic moments too, but they don't sprinkle it in. They don't give you a transition.
Yeah.
They don't pump the brakes. They don't give you anything in New York to set up this basis for this completely dramatic
it's so
scene.
Weird because it just feels like it's completely separate from the rest of the movie. Because like not only
that's
is it
what I'm saying. There's
different,
no connections.
Well, yeah.
There's no transition.
Only is it just drama, but it's also like a completely different setting. Mm-hmm. It's brightly lit because they're outside and they're in the woods and on this farm.
I feel like they failed that right after the fight scene in April's apartment.
Yeah,
that should have been the nice transition.
Mm-hmm.
So right after they left the apartment, they should have kind of steered away from like the comedy and just kind of stepped it more towards just kept it with the drama for a little while instead of.
I think that they could have cut a lot of that area out if they could have trimmed that down. The whole farm scene, the farm stuff. Cut out the stuff with Casey, and I get that they're trying to build that relationship.
Whole working on the farmhouse thing.
I think that
they fixing stuff around the farm. Like, go straight from getting to the farm. Give us a moment of like reflection with the turtles, and then maybe a small training montage, and then them around the fire. That's all we need.
I agree, but they could have helped that transition, like Jack, or like he's saying, they could have had this whole thing, there in the fight scene or whatever. But I think they could have started even earlier. So like when they find out that Splinter's gone, they show up to April's house looking sad, but then they're immediately entranced with all of these antiques and having a good time and laughing about it. Like, where's the sadness for your father there? Like, where's the worry for your father there?
Right. And I know, and even with the original Ninja Turtles, the Ninja Turtles didn't depend on April as much as they do in this movie.
But for an origin, I'm okay with that.
Well, I'm saying, like, they would have been out on the streets trying to figure it out themselves.
There should have been a scene at that moment to show their worry and concern for their father, and maybe April talking them out of leaving. And then maybe we can go down and play with antiques or whatever.
And then the whole fight scene.
And have the fight. Yeah. But you have to start that transition a little earlier than right in the drama.
Yeah.
And that's where they failed, is that you don't have anything ahead of this very dramatic farmhouse scene to prepare
it's jarring.
Yes.
It's very jarring.
Yes.
And I don't know. I just think that they could have done it a little differently. I think they should have added more of a training montage at the farm. I think that would have really ramped it up. It would have showed them progressing, and then because like literally they're like, just concentrate, and then Splinter's like, oh, you've learned their final blah blah blah. I'm like, it took them 2 minutes to do it. Like, there's nothing that worked up to this.
Oh, we should have actually been doing what you said instead of playing music. Like,
well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it literally, they sat around, let's concentrate, and then like it took him like 2 seconds of concentration, and he's on the fire, and he's like, you've learned my final teachings, and blah blah blah. It's like they didn't do anything though. Like, give me a training montage where they actually are learning something and teaching each other. Yeah, like how to work together, things like that.
Yeah, the only one that was meditating beforehand was Leonardo, and that's the one that caught the glimpse of Splinter, and then they pulled them.
Yeah.
But like you're telling me that Michelangelo just dropped everything and was like, "Yep, I learned the final thing already." He's the worst one of all of them. He's the worst fighter. And they say that several times in the comic books, in the show, he's the worst fighter because he's the one who doesn't take it as seriously as the others.
Yeah.
So it's just
until they all die.
Until they all die, then Michelangelo is the best fighter because he's the only one left.
Yeah. Oh shit! I actually have to do something.
Yeah.
But, yeah. That was literally like my biggest issue with the movie. I didn't like the dramatic scenes. Didn't have a transition. It was just.
Boom. I think that April O'Neil and Casey Jones kind of they take away from that whole ordeal at the farm. Especially like
it's just a whole other flavor that they didn't prepare you for. That entire scene is completely separate from the rest of the movie.
It's very.
And if that's going to be your drama and that's going to be your focal point there, that's fine, dude. I know plenty of movies that do that, but you have to integrate it into the rest of the movie, and they didn't do that. It's city, farm, back to the city. Yeah. Like there is no transition there at all to get you prepared for what you're about to
I think that they could have done that a lot differently. And I think that's why a lot of people like the second one more because there's none of that drama shit in the second one.
Yeah.
There's none of that. It's all fun and action and comedy.
I didn't hate the drama. I thought it was fitting since their dad's been kidnapped and obviously they care very much for their father. That's fine. I don't have a problem with the drama. It's the transitions that they chose not to use. Like that's the issue I have.
Yeah, right. Yeah. Anyway, let's finish her up.
I don't even know where I'm at. They throw away their weapons, but before Shredder can kill Leonardo, Splinter appears on the rooftops and reveals to him that he is the rat who attacked him so long ago. Shredder charges Splinter, but Splinter throws him over the rooftop and Michelangelo's nunchucks, guys. Just call them nunchucks. Shredder falls into the back of a garbage truck where Casey Jones flips the switch to crush him.
Casually kills him is what he does. Yeah. Without any problem. Whoops! Like, no, dude, you just killed a man. Like
there's that violent.
Did you guys notice, like, I don't know, it made me laugh and I understand completely where it was coming from, but like Splinter had to be carried out of that building. And then they're like, where'd he go? And then he can just walk up.
Oh, I didn't tell you guys? I can fly.
No, like he didn't.
Yeah, it was like he floated up there.
He climbs up to that roof with no problem whatsoever. If I was casing that kid, I'd be like, "You son of a bitch! Why did I have to carry your ass this whole?"
Well, then, tell me this: how was he so easily dispatched by a few Foot Clan members who abducted him? But then he just easily dispatches the Shredder with the flip of a fucking nunchuck.
After being chained up for like a week.
Yeah.
No, I found that fucking hilarious. Like they are carrying him, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Where's he at?" And you're like,
he just threw the Shredder off the roof, man. Like
y'all got played. He was faking it.
He just didn't want to walk.
He didn't want to walk. He was saving his energy.
That's just funny though.
The NYPD then arrives and April is rehired to report on the case. Casey and April then share a passionate first kiss as the turtles look on them from the rooftops.
He Grandpa Joe'd them. That's what he did.
The turtles are happily reunited and they happily hug their master and father Splinter. The film ends with the four turtles cheering Cowabunga and Splinter laughing because he made a funny.
I do love the scene though on the rooftop. I think that's a set. That had to have been a set.
Oh, I'm sure it was.
But that scene on the rooftop with them fighting the Shredder, that's gold. I love it because like it shows Shredder's pure strength and how great of a fighter he is and how menacing he is.
And I like that they're even making jokes about it. Like, are we even landing?
Yeah, are we even landing a hit on him? Like, like I bet he ain't got a problem making coleslaw. He never has to look for a can opener.
That's great.
Shit's great.
I'm still trying to figure out how he comes back in the second one.
Like I said, they retro.
He just comes back from the.
They retro the shit.
He comes out of the garbage. Yeah.
I remember his hand comes. He like throws his hand out of the garbage. I remember that.
Yeah, and then he just shows up at the backup warehouse or whatever.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I watched the movie on Sunday before I watched this one.
And the second one is definitely where he gets less menacing. You know what I mean? Like he's still a menace, but like not nearly as much.
I watched it with my friends, right? And Kira goes. She said, ew, their suits are so creepy. And I was like, it was the 90s. Like, early 90s.
There's
this
like,
movie
this
is
as
not
early as
meant
you can
for
get, as a matter
girls.
of fact, 1990.
I know,
This
that's
movie
what
is
I
not
told
meant
her.
for
I was
teenage
like, this is
girls.
amazing.
There's a
Leave me
woman that
alone.
collects
Andrew
their
loved
masks.
it, though.
Yeah.
I can't remember what.
She's obsessed with them.
Yeah, she has like all their masks. And,
Who?
some
She
lady.
doesn't have all of them. She has one or two of them from the original
movies.
But they're like deteriorating and
Yeah.
stuff because they're so old that
Well,
they're
nobody
rotting
thought it
away.
was going to be a collector's thing, so they just got put in storage, knowing full well that stuff deteriorates. I mean, have you seen the puppets from like the Dark Crystal, and like they're fucking nightmare fuel?
Yeah,
the Labyrinth and Dark Crystal or whatever. Like they're
a couple of
the
original masks from this movie are the same way. They're like they look bad because of the animatronics and stuff in them.
Well, the foam latex, it wears away over time, and then all you're left with is the animatronic, and that's scary. It's scary as hell.
Unless you put some preservatives around.
Well, usually you buy special cases that you can put that stuff in. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, is that all you guys want to say? Is that it?
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's review this bitch.
Yeah, let's review this bitch. Start with Madison. Madison, what did you think of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from the 1990?
It was alright. I don't really like it that much. I'm not gonna lie.
Liar.
No, I love this movie. I love this movie since I was a kid, though. Dad showed it to me, and I was like, ooh.
It is not a movie that you think your little daughter is going to get into, but then she grew obsessed with him. I'm like, all right, well, I'm a good dad.
She's a rare gem.
Yeah.
No, I love these movies so much you don't even understand. Whenever I showed them to Andrea and Kira offended me whenever she was talking about the movie because she ended up falling back asleep too. And I was like, that's not...
Doesn't that irritate you whenever you're like trying to show somebody a fantastic movie? And they're like, I don't really like it, or they're falling asleep. I'm like, hey, get the fuck up. Yeah. You're going to watch this movie.
You want to look at her and be like, why are we even friends?
How are we friends? I don't understand.
Yeah, I told Kendra, I said, when it comes to movies, like, don't make me watch a movie you want me to watch at like 9 o'clock or so. I'm going to fall asleep. It's going to happen. Like, it's guaranteed.
No, Andrea loved it though. She was like, I think I watched this movie whenever I was a kid. I really like this movie, and she kept going on about it. I was like, I'm glad we're friends.
The other one though.
Yeah.
Kira.
Throw a book at him.
Velma.
That's Velma.
Anyways,
and Kira or Andrea's the one that looks like Daria.
Yeah. But I really like this movie since I was a kid. I love the music to it. It gets so goofy at times, like whenever Raphael was fighting Casey that first time. It's like, okay.
Yeah, that kind of like goofy.
Yeah. The score to is definitely 90s.
Yeah, I love the score to this. Like,
Yeah.
it's definitely like whenever you hear it, you're like, that's the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah. No, I love it. I love the intro too. Whenever they first come in, and like you think you're gonna see them for the intro, but you don't. You just see their shadows, and then they jump in. I love that part too. I love everything about this movie. I don't really know what else to say about it.
The Fruit Ninjas.
I think Michelangelo is always my favorite because my favorite color was orange, and he was the orange one. So there's that. I never liked Leonardo. I thought he was a stickler. I like Donatello though, and Raphael.
Leonardo's the best one.
That's what
it's Michelangelo.
Leonardo's been my favorite since I was a little kid. He's always been my favorite.
I always hated Leonardo. He was like my least favorite character in the cartoons and everything because he was always,
I like him in this movie.
He was always the voice of reason. That was my thing.
That's why I liked him so much. As a kid, I was always that kid that was like, don't do that. You're going to get in trouble. And as an adult, I'm like, I'm still like, dude, yeah, you got the right idea.
That's always been me too. I've always been very logical, but that's why I like Michelangelo, because he's not like me.
So you can yell at him. You're like, don't!
No, I wish I could be more like him. I wish I could like look at a situation and not see the danger, just see
that's
the fun.
How I am though. I laugh at everything. And it's because Dad made me watch Ninja Turtles, I'm now realizing.
I like Donatello.
Cody's favorite is Donatello. She loves Donatello.
Just him and Michelangelo's related. They're just,
I like Michelangelo. I can't help it. Turtle Wax.
I love this movie. Even their quippy one-liners and everything. They're too good. They always make me giggle. Anyways, I'm gonna give this movie an
She wants to give it a 10.
But he said there are things wrong with it. I said, but it's not.
It's not a perfect
it's a 10
movie
in my eyes. It's a perfect movie in my eyes.
It's her review.
You can do whatever you want. You can give it a 10 if you want.
Goonies wasn't a perfect movie either. I gave that a 10. It's a perfect movie to me, though.
Okay, well, give it a 10 then.
I'm gonna give it a 10 then.
I don't give a fuck what you give it. I'm just saying it's not a perfect movie. It's a great movie, don't get me wrong. It's near perfect to me in my eyes, too, but...
Right now, our aggregate says it's perfect.
Now it is a 10.
We gotta bring this bitch down. Fuck, I guess that's my job. No.
So, oh man, I've seen this movie hundreds of times since I was a kid. I probably watched the fuck out of it as a kid. I probably wore the VHS out. I remember when this movie came out. Hell, I remember when all three of them came out. Because I remember getting the third one from the video store, getting all excited and ready to go home and watch it, and then kind of being disappointed with the result of the movie because it was nothing like the first two. But this movie is, I'm confused as to whether it's actually a good movie or if it's just pure nostalgia for me. Because, like, for me, I love it so much because it's so much a part of my childhood.
That's where I was struggling with it.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah, there's a lot of good things. What is that?
Sounds like the trash people.
Does sound like it.
Our trash day is today, so.
Mine isn't. Mine's not till.
Yeah, but they still ride around. You just don't. You're not here to hear it.
Oh.
I've been working from home before and hear them.
Right. Anyway, so a lot of things about this movie that I absolutely love. I love the practical effects with the suits and all that stuff.
Dude, you always start with the bad, then do the good.
Okay, well, the bad is I didn't like a lot of the farm stuff.
I would start with the bad and end with the good.
I didn't like the April narrations and things like that. That shit bothered me. I don't like I think that Tatsu was a great thing to add into the movie because he was never in the comic books or anything like that or in the show. But I think that
this character is purely for bringing you into that realism.
It is. It's supposed to be kind of that transition between the Foot Clan and Shredder. He's that middle guy. But I feel like there could have been a better suited person from the comic books or the show to put in that role instead of making a brand new character to play that role. Because the Shredder had all kinds of people under him. You know what I mean? So, like, I know that, like, Crane was one of those things that was like, Shredder was that transition.
I don't know if they wanted to take that route with these movies.
No, I know. They were trying to keep it more grounded. But
they also didn't want to introduce like every character because then what do you have for the sequels?
Right, I get that. Yeah. But like that's why I'm like, take Casey Jones out and give a different character more of a spotlight in this movie that would have been under the Shredder. Like give us, I don't know, maybe you could do Bebop and Rocksteady before they were mutants or something like that. You know what I mean? Because they were his lackeys before they were mutants. Just something like that. I don't know. It's just spitballing an idea, but there isn't a lot about the movie that I don't like. I just think that, like I said, I think it could have been better lit in a lot of scenes, like down in the sewers.
Toka and Razor.
I think that, but it's a testament to how old the movie is and the grainy filming style and things like that. That's all that's budgetary, essentially. It definitely had that more of a low budget feel to it. But aside from that, like I said, my main issue with it is the lighting. I hate the lighting in this movie, especially in those really important scenes in the sewers and stuff like that with the turtles and Splinter, especially at the beginning, all that. And I think that it would have been more beneficial to the movie had they had more outside scenes. Kind of like the scene with Raphael and Casey Jones in Central Park, or the scene on the street. I think they should have done more with that at the end with them battling the Foot Clan. But some of the shots are so close up that it doesn't give you a really good idea of, like, I think that the cinematography in this is kind of shitty because I feel like there's better shots that could be had in some of those fight scenes. Mm-hmm. But like I said, these are all just nitpicks that I've noticed as an adult. But the movie's still amazing. It's an amazing movie with a great score. I love the comedy. I love all the turtles. I love the suits. I think April in this one is the best April of all the movies. I do like the guy that plays Casey Jones. Shredder is probably my favorite part of this whole movie because he's so menacing and evil and just intimidating. And I think he's my favorite part. And he's also one of the greatest villains of all time.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I mean, it's pure nostalgia for me, man. It's always gonna be. It's always Ninja Turtles is like one of the closest things to my heart, man. I grew up on it. I loved them. Even as a kid, whenever times were hard and they sucked, these movies and this franchise got me through, and it helped me, reminding me that I was still a kid back then. Whenever sometimes I wasn't able to be a kid. So, like, that's why this franchise is so dear to me. And for that, I got it. It's not perfect, but I'm going to give it a 9.5.
Yeah. It's perfect.
I'll keep mine pretty short because there's not a lot that I have to say about it. I'm probably, like I said, my biggest complaint would be the transition. I didn't understand why they couldn't do a better job of making that farmhouse fit in with the rest of the movie. It's so jarring.
It is.
It's completely out of place, and it's so jarring. That's probably the biggest complaint that I have, though. I liked the music, and I think my favorite thing, and this might be going against a little bit of what you said, but I loved that grungy noir look it had.
No, I do like that about it.
Yeah,
I just didn't like the lighting.
I like that it's not bright and cartoony. I like that it was dark. I like that it was grungy and dirty. I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think that it set the tone perfectly especially for the city. It was a little bit brighter in the farmhouse, which is strange because the tone in that is supposed to be darker. But I guess it's the change in venue. But I didn't care for the farm, but I really did like the look of the movie. I liked the music. I loved the kids that they had playing like the teenagers and stuff. I think they did a really good job of conveying this sense of being lost, but at the same time searching for a family. I loved that they left the master Tetsu. Yeah, I love that they left that scene in there rather than trying to candy coat it like most movies do when it comes to portraying that gangs are not family. They don't really care about it. You know, we all got that talk or that thing back in the 90s with gang rising, things like that. We all got told they're not your family. They don't care about you. But there was
back then too.
Yeah,
and the rise of gangs. Was
and
huge.
The thing is that nothing that I can think of that was geared at kids showed that lesson as clearly when Master Tetsu gets that kid and just he's dead. You can tell he's dead. But I'm just saying that I can't think of any other movie back then as anti-gang as everything was back then, and how everybody would tell you they're not your friend, they don't like you. Nothing portrayed it in your face like that movie did.
Yeah.
So I praise it for that as well. And mostly because of that factor and the fact that they did so many other things so well. The costumes are amazing. The time especially. I mean, what other movie can you think of that they had costumes like that? I mean, it was
Shredder was just all sparkled out, dude.
It's a fantastic transition. I mean, it's fantastic. They're really turtles, and he's really Shredder. And I mean, it's exactly what you wanted to see. So I'm gonna give it an 8.
Yeah, he definitely had like the saving.
He was very sparkly, kind of like.
He looked like he had the saving Silverman jacket.
He looked like your aunt who was just getting back from the party. Like,
no, he should have been part of Siegfried and Roy's show.
Yeah.
Yes.
He was dressed like your aunt would be dressed to go out to the club in the 80s.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he was dressed like. I was like the baggy upper
cape's
shirt.
A little much.
Yeah, the cape's a little much. You know,
he even had the shoulder pad.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
About to go clubbing. About to go out with the girls.
All he needs is the hair.
Yeah. I'm about to go out with the girls. Well, maybe you should lose the helmet and the claws. I'm just saying. Just a suggestion.
Cape might be a little much.
Yeah, I mean that shirt really was pretty baggy on him.
It was.
But yeah, for me, the movie, I mean, yeah, definitely nostalgia. I mean, I can't get past that. But as far as like, you know, the movie itself, I mean, I really enjoyed the movie. The acting was okay. I mean, it wasn't, I mean, it was good.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like, you know, 10-star, you know,
Emmy winning
acting, but, huh?
Emmy winning.
Yeah, it wasn't Emmy award winning.
You mean this didn't get any awards?
It should have for
special effects.
Special effects, yeah.
The practical effects in it, oh yeah, it was great. I mean, I wish they could have done more hiding the seams, but I mean, obviously you can't ding it that much. For
yeah,
that.
you're really,
honestly the biggest problem I had with the suits, and you could see the seams
right here is what was bothering me. Right there on the shoulders.
I didn't notice that so much. What I noticed the most,
especially
is whenever
in the
they
farm,
would move and it would scrunch up,
and
you could tell that it was rubber.
Yeah.
No, when they were on the farm in the daylight, you could really see the seams right here on the.
Maybe that's why you kept it so dark.
And that's probably why. And I really like that. I really like the dark, grungy look that he had.
I'm going with grungy noir.
Yeah. So I'm going to come in at probably an 8.5 for me.
Well, that brings us to a 9, ladies and gentlemen. The aggregate is 9.
There we
It's
go.
not bad. It's not bad. I'd say that's pretty high for a movie like this. Honestly, and I don't even know what to think.
It's not a 10, Madison, but it's not.
Critics had to say about this. I would assume that they liked it. Man, this is a tough one. I'm going to go 80.
For the critics.
For the critics, I'm going to go
67.
I'm not going to go that low.
It's definitely not that low. I don't think it's that low.
No.
Karen's giving that look like it might be.
Could be.
Could be.
Might be. Who knows?
They either loved it or they hated it. Critics are so back and forth.
Man, you chose like a good number too, because that's like
80,
right there. 80.
Yeah, I think it's a good number.
Yeah. I'm going to say 75. I'm just 75.
Madison's going to take it. They hated it.
Oh, really?
43%.
What? 43%? The audience has to be higher. Has to be higher.
Could be.
I'm going to go 80 again on the audience.
Could be.
Going 80.
75. I'm sticking with 75.
I'll go 83.
Your dad's going to take it.
Gagged.
You were very close. It was 81.
Oh.
That was only one off.
Should have $1 him.
I know.
Yeah.
I kept waiting for it the way she was talking. I'm like, ooh, she's going $1.
Yeah.
I try not to $1 you guys.
So, critics' consensus: Teenage Mutant Ninja
We
Turtles.
should start doing that.
And I actually agree with this consensus. It's pretty spot on. But Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is exactly as advertised. One-liners, brawls, and general silliness. Good for the young at heart. Irritating for everyone else.
Irritating for everyone else.
Not a fan. Watching this, I find it not funny and not good action.
It's because you're a grumpy old at.
Oh, and it's a 1 star, by the way. They didn't put their name on it. I'm kind of feeling like the people that don't put their name on it can suck a dick. It's like, if you're not proud enough to put your name on something you wrote, then I guess...
Yeah.
But
anyway, it's a 1 star, but here's where I love it, because in the second sentence, they say, hey, but it's like, hey, like hay's for horses. Yeah. Hey, I like the 2014 and the 2016. The new Ninja Turtles are better. 7 exclamation points.
You can die.
Hold on.
I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Yeah.
Yep.
That was a perfect one for that one.
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is basically 90 minutes of filmmaking errors. This is a 2 star by Lauriste L. In virtually every major scene, set items, camera gear, or puppet operator are accidentally included in the shot, and the Turtles' rubber animatronic costumes have hard surfaces that accidentally bend inappropriately. At the time, this was the most commercially successful indie film ever released, due to the film being an extension of a kid's marketing craze, which ended up with the TMNT being about the 4th or 5th highest selling toy product globally. The hit soundtrack and excellent stills portraying the film as a grunge noir action comedy with cool retro style sets helped pique interest, but the actual film doesn't have a second act, and the supporting cast simply can't act. Some great martial arts scenes, though, with plenty of action and silliness. TMNT plays more like a series of this video test shots for a proposed film than a proper movie.
I mean, that sounds like a good.
It's a good.
I mean, that's a good review. I mean, that's.
It is. At least they gave reasons.
Yeah, they gave enough reasons.
Yeah.
So this is a half star, no name. Checked it out of pure nostalgia. Some of the worst childish shit I've ever seen, topping cheesiness in almost every scene. Just plain horrible.
What happened to you?
Fuck your own face!
What happened to them?
I don't know.
They grew up with the Ninja Turtles and then they hated it?
Not
everybody can live on
not
nostalgia.
everybody.
Who
Yeah.
hurt
I think
them?
you have to have a young heart or have some bit of youth feeling in yourself to still like the movies you did when you were a kid.
Yeah. I definitely believe that.
This is a 2-star, no name. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 1990 filmization of the popular cartoon series is mostly a disappointment. 4 ninja fighting pizza-eating turtles fight crime devised from a villain known as the Shredder.
Yeah, what more do you want?
Right.
Good production design, special effects for the turtles, but otherwise badly written, flatly directed, and murky looking. A supposed updating of the entertaining cartoon series has none of that series' bright or colorful energy. This feature film is not at all distinguished. The kids certainly didn't mind. Huge box office success leads to 2 more sequels. This dude sounds like he's pissed at the success of the movie.
I think so.
Calm down, man. Were you mad because you had another movie playing at the time, or what?
Street Sharks are better.
Yeah, I like Street Sharks. They got a gargoyle movie coming out, don't they?
A what?
A gargoyle.
I think it got shelved.
I don't know.
Get shelved?
I don't know what's going on with that, but dude, I'm all about a gargoyle.
Oh man,
shit.
Gargoyles are the
so
shit,
excited
dude.
for it.
Yeah,
Fuck yeah.
I'm all about that.
How did I watch this movie over 100 times as a kid? It really wasn't that good. Raphael is so fucking annoying, but 100% better than the remake. And I read that like they wrote it. So fucking annoying.
Fucking annoying.
There's 3 eyes and fucking. So, yeah.
Dude, imagine if I grew up like that. Hating the Ninja Turtles.
Well,
I loved
you would have
it,
been put
and
up for
then
adoption
one day,
very early on.
right?
Yeah.
I loved it, and then one day I was like, no.
I'd be like, what happened to you?
Yeah.
Who hurt you?
Show me. I feel like in some of these.
Show me on this doll where you've been hurt.
Where were you
There's one in
touched?
particular that I feel like they should have shown on the doll where the movie touched them. We're getting there, I think, but yeah. Oof. Obnoxious and stupid, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles may boast a few laughs, but still is blandly scripted, poorly acted, as well as predictable. This movie was okay. It had awesome action and voice cast and actors, but hey, April did not look like April, and Splinter beat Shredder with tripping him over. What? Fair.
April did not look a lot like April, but she looked more like April than the other
second
Aprils.
movie, yeah.
Yeah.
The other Aprils don't look anything like her. So, I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that.
This person's fun. They gave it a 2.5 star, no name, terrible costuming, and they put bad words in a PG movie. What the fudge? And then there's an A with those little things over it, one of those O circle things, 2 question marks, another A, and then a plus minus sign. So I'm assuming that's his version of cussing.
Shut up!
It's better than the second and third movie. I like the TV show better than this. Terrible. This is the person I feel like probably needs this.
He's like that one guy on the internet, the one kid that was on the internet that goes, "Stop cussing, guys! It's inappropriate and violent."
Yeah, they put cussing in a PG movie.
Cussing. They say "damn," which is the least.
Damn and
curse
shit
word.
are probably the 2 nicest.
No, I would say "damn" and "ass."
Well,
But
yeah, maybe,
damn is
yeah.
the least curse word of all curse words.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not even offensive in any way. Damn. You know what I mean?
Damn. This movie sucked. It
Damn it,
pisses
Bobby.
me off. It's a half star, by the way. No name. This movie sucked. It pisses me off. Them big forehead samurai turtle looking ass. Graphics sucked. Effects were not good. I'd rather pluck each one of my hairs on my head than give this movie a 5 star. This was the one I was thinking of when they should show on the doll where they were touched.
Yeah.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
Show us on the doll where Michelangelo touched you. Jesus Christ.
Okay, this one's my favorite and the last one. Shredder's my ass and Splinter's my balls. This movie is an inside-out asshole regurgitating putrid anal diarrhea.
I'm not going to say anything to that one.
Why though?
That's a half star.
Just how he started it off. I'm not even going to reply to that because that's just fucking amazing.
Why are you so angry?
That was Benjamin H. half star. Shredders.
I like how you started that off, though.
He's so mad about it too. You know, he's like, it's
so
relentless.
Angry.
Yeah, he's so relentless.
Yeah. That's Rotten Tomatoes.
Jeez, man. And either you love it or you fucking hate it. That's what.
There's no in between. There's no gray area.
No, there's no gray area, man. All right.
I do have the cameo roles in here. Sorry.
Okay. Moving on to
Sweet Ass Trivia with Karen.
Yes, trivia with Karen.
The actors who physically portrayed the turtles also had cameo roles in the film. Josh Pius, who plays Raphael, plays a passenger in the back of a taxi cab right after Raphael hops on the cab's hood. Michelan Sisti, I think that's how you say his name, who plays Michelangelo, plays the pizza delivery man who delivers the pizza to the turtle sewer. Leif Tilden, who plays Donatello, plays the foot messenger that meets April in the subway station. And David Foreman, who plays Leonardo, plays a gang member in the warehouse during Casey's fight with Tatsu. You know what? I also thought, too, when we were watching this, remember when Casey beats up one of the dudes and steals their uniform? Like, when did we stop doing that in movies? Because we should bring it back. Like, beating up people and taking their clothes.
And it's not even like, there's no transition either. He literally beat him up, goes down, comes back up dressed as him.
Yeah.
Like, there is no, like, how did he do that?
That's how it was.
That was like magic.
That was how it was in most movies. I think the only one I can remember that was slightly different was like Spaceballs when they steal their costumes and you can see like the one dude still putting on the one part of his sleeve or whatever. But yeah, most of the time it was boom, bang, bam. Walking out with the costume.
Yeah, there was no transition. For as grounded as this movie is, that's the most unbelievable part.
I love that scene, though. They should bring that shit back. Like, I love that comedy-wise. Love it.
I will give it to Casey Jones, the guy who plays Casey Jones. He's one of the best parts of this movie. Yeah. He's so charismatic in this movie, and he's such a goofball. So he's a fun guy in the movie.
I like when he shows up and he's like, "You want to talk to me about what you're doing to my little green friend there?"
You're like, "Whoa, who's the babe?"
Yeah. One of the earliest ideas floated around that the film would follow a similar approach to Who Framed Roger Rabbit, in which the actors would be interacting with animated versions of the turtles. However, this idea was quickly scrapped in favor of pursuing performances and turtle costumes from Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Luckily, Jim Henson and his team were up to the challenge. Robin Williams, who was a big fan of the franchise, provided Judith Hoag with information regarding her character through his comic book collection. The two were co-starring in Cadillac Man when the Turtles film went into production.
That's cool, though.
I know.
I didn't know that about Robin Williams.
I miss Robin Williams so much. This was the highest-grossing independent film until The Blair Witch Project in 1999, having made $135 million in domestic box office and $66 million in foreign box office. In the script and novelization, the young boy that Tatsu attacks was to die from the beating. The sounds of the boy breathing and others saying he would be alright were added in at the last minute after the movie ratings board objected to the scene. In the French version of the movie, Shinsu does die. Judith Hoag did not reprise her role as April in sequels because she didn't care for the 6-day shooting schedule and the movie's violence. Jim Henson, whose workshop provided the movie's turtle costumes, were purportedly upset about the level of violence in the finished movie. While he was proud to have helped advance the art of animatronics, he viewed the violence... Yeah.
Hold on. She was naked in Carnival, dude.
Yeah.
She gets fully naked in Carnival, and I'm like... Because I know this, because I'm like, hey, it's April O'Neil from the Ninja Turtles, and then she's like topless, and she's playing a prostitute. I'm like...
Yeah.
Wait, why was she upset?
The violence.
Because of the violence.
She didn't come back for the 2 sequels because of the violence.
Because of the violence.
What?
And she gets naked in another movie.
But she gets, so...
Well, I mean...
I don't create the news, I just read it.
I mean, nudity isn't violence.
True.
Unless you make it violent.
I feel like that's worse than violence, though.
I wouldn't say it's worse than violence.
I'd say those are your 2 gauges, though. Like, to gauge, like, what you're, I guess, into or, like, what you would do or, you know what I mean? Like, if you're an actor and you say you have a problem with violence, but you're willing to take off your shirt, there's... I don't know.
I mean, there's a bunch of hippies that are nudist.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have a problem with nudity.
I don't have a problem with nudity at all. Like, I honestly, I don't understand why America's so uptight about sex.
I don't either.
And
I get why people are uptight about violence.
Yeah,
but
sure.
At the same time, it's a movie. It's not.
I think
real.
shielding your kids from violence and sex and all of that stuff is worse for them in the long run. I really do, because they're going to get out into the world and then they're going to be like, "Oh no!"
And it's going to be culture shock. It's going to be culture shock. It's what it is.
Yeah. However, as Steve Barron had directed the pilot episode of The Storyteller, which set the tone for the entire series, Henson agreed to do it as a sort of favor to Barron. Brian Tochi, the voice of Leonardo, and Robbie Rist, the voice of Michelangelo, are the only actors who appeared in all 3 live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle movies. Shredder and the Clan's hideout were filmed in an abandoned cement factory called the Ideal Cement Factory outside of Wilmington, North Carolina, and Castle Hayne. This location was also used as a set for Dino Hatton in Super Mario Brothers and Top Dollar's nightclub in The Crow. The film was set in New York City, but actually much of the filming took place in North Carolina, with only a couple of location shoots done in New York City to capture the famous landmark areas. To help disguise how cumbersome and slow the turtle costumes were, dialogue scenes were shot at 23 frames per second, so that they were played at normal speed of 24 frames per second. They appeared a bit sharper. For the same reason, the fight scenes were shot at 22 or 23 frames per second. According to Josh Pius on the podcast I Was There Too, the director Steve Barron was fired near the end of production as the producers thought the film had become too dark. It is uncertain how the different film would have been if he had final cut. However, fans are still curious about what the differences would have been. Josh Pius says that Raphael is the only actor who physically portrays and voices the same turtle. Corey Feldman said he was offered $1,500 to do the voice work for this film. Corey accepted, believing the producers who told him that this was only a small, low-budget independent film, hoping that it would have moderate success on VHS if they were lucky. The movie ended up making millions of dollars at the box office. That's kind of fucked up.
That is fucked up. That's just another example of Hollywood taking advantage of him and Corey Haim. So
the scene where Raphael exits the movie theater was originally going to be different. He would have commented, "Cool car, stupid costume," as a reference to Batman, which was in theaters during the filming of this movie. I think that would have been better.
I agree, yeah.
Comedically, that would have been way better.
It would have lent more to Raphael's character, too. So, because he, aside from getting his ass kicked and having an attitude, he doesn't have a lot of personality in this movie.
Well, what a personality he does have is portrayed as an asshole.
As an asshole, yeah. He's just angry.
The movie portrays Hamato Yoshi as Splinter's master/owner, and Splinter learnt his ninja skills through observing and mimicking him, which was hilarious to me, watching that rat in the cage just like... Yeah. That was hilarious. I was laughing. This is true to the original TMNT comics, but was the first time this version of Splinter's origin was seen. In Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which was the first ever adaptation of 1987, Master Splinter is Hamato Yoshi and became a rat after being exposed to mutagen. Originally, Steve Barron wished to replace April O'Neil's jumpsuit look from the early Mirage comics and Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles cartoon. The look was going to be more closely resemble the cartoon with a yellow-colored jumpsuit and a big head of red hair, as opposed to the green jumpsuit and brown hair. However, Judith Hoag found the jumpsuit horrifying, and the idea was nixed. The yellow raincoat April wears in the beginning of the movie is an homage to the yellow jumpsuit she wears in the 1987 cartoon.
It's amazing for a woman who don't really have a lot of acting credits to her name, thinks that she can have so much to say.
That's exactly what I was thinking when I
like, who are you? Like, just take the fucking role, act, and do what we tell you. Like, I think if it was me in that situation, like, I'll take some of your ideas into consideration, but at the end of the day, the final say is up to me.
Yeah.
If I'm directing this movie.
I agree. You want to be in this movie, then be in it. If not,
you're going to wear the yellow jumpsuit if I tell you to wear the fucking yellow jumpsuit.
Right.
Because we're paying you to be here.
Right.
You know what I mean?
This is what we were talking about earlier. So Pizza Hut engaged in a $20 million marketing campaign tied to the film, despite the fact that Domino's Pizza was used as product placement in the film itself. Items included advertising in print, radio, and television, and several rebate coupons. It's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
The Foot Clan is a parody of The Hand, a clan of ninjas from the Daredevil comics from Marvel. Editor Sally Mankey, primarily known for collaborating with Quentin Tarantino, made her feature film debut working on this film. When getting this movie started, Mark Friedman knew it would have to offer a slightly different experience from the Fred Wolf-produced animated TV show. Therefore, an effort was made to make this movie stay as close as possible to the vision co-creators Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird presented in their original comic book series. The script is based mainly on the early Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle comics, including the stories of the Turtles' origins, rooftop battles, sojourn to the farmhouse, and battle with Shredder. Elements were taken from the 1980s animated series, such as the Turtles' colored bandanas and love of pizza. Elements of Michelangelo's character and April O'Neil as a television reporter as a lab assistant. The motors that were built into each turtle head to create facial expressions were packed very tightly into it and very uncomfortable for the performers in the suit. Josh Pius has described the noise like being in Grand Central Station at rush hour with a tin can over your head. Because the interior scenes in Wilmington were shot close to a nearby airport, this presented problems to the turtle performers. Radio-controlled animatronic heads would receive signals from the control tower, causing each facial expression to go in involuntary spasms. Could you imagine?
He's like, oh my! I don't know about having electronic. Like, could you imagine having that thing on your head and it just starts spazzing? I'm like, is this thing gonna squash my face?
Right?
Like, what is like? I'd freak the fuck out.
Five Nights at Freddy ordeal going
on.
I'd be interested to know if you two knew this. I didn't know it, and I found it very interesting. So, each of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle weapons reflect what Splinter thinks is their greatest weakness.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
I didn't know that.
Okay, so like, Donatello's represents the fact that he relies on technology and he's so smart. That's why he just has a stick.
Yep.
Michelangelo's
is to teach him creativity and to making do with what he has.
Exactly. Yep. And then like with Raphael, because he's so aggressive, he has a defensive. His
defensive weapon is actually used in peacekeeping.
Exactly.
This is to teach him patience and discipline.
Then with like Leonardo, he has the swords because they're actually very deadly, and it shows him. I can't remember exactly how it's worded, but
it says this is to teach him that ultimately, despite his ideals, he may be forced to take lives to protect people and must never fight battles needlessly.
Exactly.
And Michelangelo?
I can't remember his. It's because of how erratic and how he pretty much has ADHD. His takes more concentration.
Yep. The nunchuck's a weapon infamous for its complexity and ease of injuring the user. Yeah, no shit. We had the safety ones and still fucking...
Yeah. Oh yeah. They're brutal.
This is to teach him focus and not to take combat lightly.
You ever see the people that use them like with ping pongs like Bruce Lee in there? I've seen another dude use it.
Bruce Lee was a badass with nunchucks, dude.
I've seen another dude using it with a ping pong. He was just going back and forth against this wall. He was just going to town with it. I'm like...
I can't... I can do
jaw
this.
dropped.
I can do this with him, even then I'm like,
I know. I've been hitting the head with him so much times that it's like, no.
Like
thanks.
you're doing this, and you're like, bam, right in the balls. Like, oh man, it's just no.
I mean,
fun.
I used to be able to do that and like go side to side.
I can do that.
I could not.
Wah, 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 wah. And it's still hitting you in the side. Like,
I used to be able to do the like over the shoulder and like catch it thing. I used to be able to do that. I can't do that anymore.
I can't do it at all. I'm like, ow, motherfucker.
So this is the last one and my favorite.
I'm delicate.
This is the last one of my favorite. In the 1980s, the first pitch Kevin Eastman and Peter Laird got for a film treatment was from Schlockmeister Roger Corman's New World Pictures. The idea was to have the Turtles played by 4 comedians who were popular at the time: Gallagher, Sam Kinison, Bobcat Goldthwait, and Billy Crystal. The actors would be dressed in turtle shells.
Who the fuck would Bob? Hold on. Who would he voice?
Donatello.
Maybe Donatello.
Maybe Mikey.
Mikey, maybe, but his voice is so distinctive.
Yeah.
I don't think I could handle that. I couldn't handle that.
Say, why are you so fat? Why are you so fat? Another treatment received at the time. Oh, the actors would be dressed in turtle shells and have their arms and legs painted green.
Oh,
we should really come up with like voice actors for the turtles. Just be off the wall voice actors.
We'll do that after we're done.
Yeah.
I'm down with this. I'm good with this.
Another treatment received at the time took the Turtles into R-rated territory and included a scene with partially nude nuns on roller skates fighting the heroes, which I would pay to see. Just that one.
This
scene,
is what they were going with.
That was another treatment. That was not the same treatment as the. It was a pitch.
Oh man!
It was going to be an R-rated version, and then there was going to be partially nude nuns on roller skates fighting them.
That's awesome.
Which I would love to see that.
That sounds like a porn parody.
Just once, I just want to see that one scene play out. I don't need any context. I just want to see.
Just out of nowhere, it just comes out.
Yeah, a bunch of fucking nuns come out of nowhere and start fucking beating the shit out of them. Yeah,
what the fuck?
Yeah. I would love to see.
Just the bottom half is just a bikini bottom, but the other top part's just like
maybe they're topless.
Well, no, the top part's like the nun part.
Oh yeah,
but then they just got the bikini part right there at the bottom. That's it.
I would love it.
Would they ride like roller skates?
Yeah, they were riding
roller skates. Okay, yeah, I could see that. That sounds stupid.
I want to see it though.
It'd be funnier than shit. Though.
You know you want to see it.
Kind of do.
As stupid as it is, I want to see that.
Kind of do. All right, so let's go ahead and recast the voice actors.
Tim Curry as Splinter.
That works on 2 levels, actually.
He's too maniacal. As Splinter?
Oh, yeah.
Or Shredder.
He might be better Shredder.
I don't know.
Because even when he's a good guy, you're not convinced he's a good guy.
We gotta throw Rick Moranis in there somewhere.
No, I'm going full comedic.
Yeah, I'm trying to go with comedian here.
Who's the guy from Problem Child? The guy...
John Ritter?
Oh, yeah. No.
He was the guy who...
The principal dude.
The principal guy.
Oh,
starts with a G.
He talks
Gilbert
like
Godfrey.
this.
Gilbert Godfrey.
So he's Shredder. No. I take it back. He's Splinter. That's
Splinter.
Yeah,
I would say he's more like Splinter.
Yeah, and then who do we get as Shredder? Bobcat Goldwyn. Shredder. That's what I'm going with. This is a fan cast.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. So every time he talks, he doesn't talk. He talks like Bobcat. Like, dude, come on. You could picture that. That's funny. And then Tatsuo is voiced by Roseanne Barr. And then we got the Ninja Turtles. I'm going with Donatello's Keanu Reeves.
That's a good one.
Raphael is voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's what I was gonna say. It'd be even funnier because he's so angry.
Yeah. And then I want Sylvester Stallone as Leonardo because he pretty much talks like a moron. And then I'm trying to think of a good one for Mikey. I'm gonna go.
Wait, because of his comedic timing, it's got to be good. Ryan Reynolds?
No, well...
He's the comedian.
Because he's so witty and quippy.
Yeah. And his timing is impeccable.
Maybe. Yeah, I guess Ryan Reynolds wouldn't be a bad choice.
What about the guy from Brooklyn Nine-Nine?
Ooh, Andy Samberg? Yeah. That might be a better one.
That's not bad, but I feel like
I think Andy Samberg would be better for Donatello.
Yeah,
I'm going with completely out of left field.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Bullshit act, like people who should not play those voice actors.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
so,
Andy Samberg.
That's what I'm saying. Andy Samberg would be good for Donatello.
Well, Andy Samberg's too basic. His voice is just
it's really not. He sounds like a child.
I don't know. Yeah, I just can't think of a good one for Mikey, man. Honestly, like a good funny one that just doesn't fit him at all. How about all 4 of them are just voiced by Arnold Schwarzenegger? Him just doing voices. He does a different voice for every one of them. I don't know. I don't even know.
I got nothing.
You got nothing? No voice, no fan casting?
I'm bad at
Fuck
that.
it. We'll put Chris Pratt voices everybody anymore. He can just voice them all.
I don't like that idea for that. No thanks.
No? Okay.
No. What about Wolverine?
Hugh Jackman?
Yeah, as Raphael. He's so pissed. He's so pissed off.
Yeah, I could see that.
Like he could play the Raphael part perfectly.
And all the Foot Clan soldiers.
I'm gonna go with Chris Evans as Leonardo.
And all the Foot Clan soldiers. The Foot Clan soldiers sound like stormtroopers. Stormtroopers. They talk just like that.
Yeah,
they
like
should be, really, because they should be fucking robots.
Yeah.
I mean,
they sound like stormtroopers.
They should be robots from the cartoon.
You, sir.
That way they can actually stab them. I know, oh man, it's insane because if you read some of the comic books and how violent
Rick
they
Moranis
were.
is Casey Jones.
Yeah.
Is Casey Jones? It is Casey Jones.
Playing Casey Jones. Yeah.
The short stature and everything.
Yes.
That's Rick Moranis.
I'm with that. I'm all about
you
that.
give him a giant
face mask.
hockey mask too.
Or Rick Moranis as the Shredder.
Oh, yeah, we could do a whole dark.
It's like a whole dark helmet thing.
Yes. When he walks in with that cape.
Yeah.
Just dun, 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 dun.
And then he steps off of a stool.
or he's got those like platform shoes on.
They could definitely do.
Where are my Crocs?
Like it's like a Spaceballs-esque like.
Yeah, they could definitely do a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle Spaceball spoof now.
So you've got to have like a John Candy
and with no intention of giving her any kind of credit because I
John
hate this
Candy
woman,
would be
but Kathy Griffin as April O'Neil.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Just to annoy the piss out of you.
John Candy would be Splinter at that point.
I'm not watching it.
Like
I still like Rick Moranis.
Well,
we put John Candy in one of the turtles.
I don't know.
No, I say John Candy would be
her
Splinter.
teeth and she smiles really fakely.
Or maybe he could be April.
I don't know.
Gender flip it.
Karen, who's that one chick that always talks through her teeth and like does that weird fake smile thing? She's blonde. No,
that doesn't help. There's a lot that talk through their teeth and don't.
Isn't that
there's one in particular I can't stand.
The one that your dad hates?
Drew Barrymore?
Yeah.
I don't think she talks
she doesn't talk through her teeth. She talks out of her ass.
See? Now you got him started.
No, I can't remember who
it's over. That's what we're going. Next hour. I hope you guys didn't have anything planned.
Drew Barrymore as
the Shredder.
The Shredder. Talking out of the side of her
Master
mouth.
Tetsu.
Yeah, Master Tetsu.
Okay, guys, come on. And she's trying to be like, get in their face and just be really, and like try to hug him.
No,
and shit.
I want her to play it exactly like the guy played it, but it's Drew Barrymore.
Drew Barrymore.
That would be hilarious. She just runs in there, picks up some kid, like throws him, like that would be hilarious.
I'll never watch that movie.
I would never watch it with Kathy Griffin in it.
No, I wouldn't either. No.
I say we gender flip it and put like John Candy there with a red wig.
Then we gotta throw Aquafina in there somewhere.
Why?
Because it's Aquafina.
No, I'm going old school. I'm like your dad. This is gonna be very Spaceball-esque.
Yeah.
So we need a lot of those guys.
Yeah, I'm really with that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that the Rick Moranis thing would be great.
Yeah, once you said Rick Moranis
playing like as like a Dark Helmet-esque sort of.
That we have to follow that line of thinking right there.
Yeah.
That's what
so if we got Rick Moranis as Shredder, now we got to really.
And then we
really
bring in what's her face from Men in Tights who played the princess.
Oh,
and she could play April O'Neil.
Amy something. Amy.
I can't remember her name.
Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
She was from Problem Child.
She was married to John Ritter.
Yeah, bring her in as April O'Neil.
Yeah,
because
yes, perfect.
we can make her
we can
April
work with
O'Neil
that.
hot again.
Yep, we can work with that. Definitely, she was gorgeous.
And then you make so if we're doing Rick Moranis as Shredder, then we make the dude that played Princess and Bride. What's his name?
Oh, Carrie Elwes?
Yeah, make him Casey.
Kind of like that one too.
No, dude, we just bring in Andre the Giant as Casey Jones.
Nah, he's Tatsu.
That's Tatsu?
That's Tatsu.
It's funnier if you've got Drew Barrymore
no,
shit out of these kids.
No, it's Tatsu. That's Andrew. That's
or
Andre.
it could be that really short lady from Kindergarten Cop that played the principal.
Oh yeah,
she could be Master Tatsu. That would be hilarious. And she plays it just like that dude.
Why don't we just do this whole movie in like a little person like version? There's just a bunch of little people, not like midgets, but like
no, because I think that you can
statured
interpret
people.
that as making fun of like them being like a comedy thing and like it just being.
And then we just bring in all the guys who played all the Ghostbusters as the Ninja Turtles. Bill Murray is definitely Michelangelo.
100%.
Yeah, and then Egon is that's Donatello all day.
Yeah, no, because well, I don't know because Donatello's pretty funny on his own.
Egon is definitely Donatello because he's the smart one.
Yeah, and then you got what's his face?
He's not as funny though.
What's the other two's names? There's
Ray and
that's definitely Leonardo. That's Leonardo.
Yeah.
No, I take that back. No, he would have to be.
I don't know if we could do the Ghostbusters as
because they all have qualities. Like Egon would be more the leader, so he would be more Leonardo.
Yeah, but he's the smartest. Well, I guess that would be.
Ray's actually the smartest.
Ray
and Egon are both pretty smart.
Yeah, I guess Ray would probably have to be Donatello
because he's got to have a little bit of that comedic.
I guess Egon would be Leonardo.
Yeah,
because he's more of the leader type.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway, Hey, if you guys want to fan cast them yourself, let us know. Anyway, let's figure it out.
What's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
If I actually picked
The second one?
Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles this time.
Yeah. We'd watch it. Fuck it.
Sorry. Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
God, dude. You know, for movies that like are just, I don't understand how we pick them all the time. How's this franchise still going?
How
so
many
we watched
more do we have?
So this is the beginning. This would be the beginning. Why? How many more of these fucking movies do we have? So this would be the prequel to the remake.
So Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning.
Yeah. It'd be the prequel to the remake. So, and then after that, do we really want to do Leatherface?
2006.
They're all in there.
Well, it came out in 2006.
Did it come out? Yeah, I think it did come out in 2006.
It is for rent or buy.
Cool. That's cool. It's not streaming anywhere. Why would it be? Well, from an upper to a downer, this is what happens. You're bowing out of this one, aren't you?
No,
you're not gonna bow out?
told y'all I would stick it out.
It's a good man. It's a good man.
So which one is this one?
The beginning. Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning.
The beginning.
It's gonna have Jordana Brewster in it.
I'm just trying to find it in the box so that I can delete it.
Oh.
Yeah, Jordana Brewster, Taylor Handley.
Is that what it's called? Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning?
Yeah. Texas Chainsaw: The Beginning. Yep. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning.
Is it 2022?
2006.
2006.
I don't have that on here.
The Texas Chainsaw
there it is,
Massacre:
down here at
The Beginning.
See it? The Beginning.
This one I don't remember being all that bad. I remember this one.
Hell, we thought the second one was going to be good. But I don't know anymore with these movies.
But you don't tell me they're good.
Like the remake wasn't bad. Like we didn't hate on that one, and this one's a lot like that one.
There's a lot of things that don't make sense about it,
right?
You know, but
this one here, I remember. Actually, I think I actually remember liking this one more than the remake. So I don't know though. Don't hold me to that.
As long as there's not a whole bunch of nonsense screaming, I'll be all right.
Yeah. All right.
You're out of luck on that.
Next week we're continuing that Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Hey, look at this. We get them over with, and we don't have to watch them.
Exactly. That's what I'm looking forward to. So don't forget to check out the socials and all that stuff. And we wish you guys all a brand new Happy New Year. I hope
Happy New Year.
Happy New
next year is better than than this year. So, and we hope that we see you next year. Or you see us, actually. We can't see you because that'd be weird.
Unless there's new technology.
Yeah.
I don't think we'd turn that on. I don't like people staring at me.
I would not like that.
I wouldn't like looking at other people while we were trying to...
And they wouldn't be able to talk to us or anything? They just stare at us? No.
Yeah.
No,
It'd be different if you were like on a stage doing like some kind of like live thing or whatever, but like just here, that'd be weird, I think.
I would have to interact with the crowd if that were the case. Like, what'd you think of the movie?
Yeah.
Here's
what I thought.
Opinion sucks. So,
well, you suck.
anyway,
you're off camera.
We hope you guys have a wonderful New Year, and we'll see you guys next year.
We will see you next year.
Okay, bye.
Goodbye.
Bye.